right, chat, what's going on? Welcome back to another installment of Talk About It. Today's guest is, I'd say, an extended member of the Easy Team family. He's definitely he was there kind of at the start, getting the roots planted. Um, he's kind of graduated to his own type of thing. Um, but Nick, he's from Ohio. Went to UPIKE to bowl. After leaving to grow as an individual, Nick found a sense of serenity and stability that pushed him to get a degree and to set up a better plan for his future. Nick's one of the most loyal, kind individuals I know. Um, Definitely blessed to have met Nick. So without further ado, everybody welcome my brother, Nicholas. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. What's up, man? How you feeling? How you feeling?
Hey, we're thriving right now, brother.
That's what's up, man. How's everything with Evie and all of them?
Man, she's growing fast. It's just crazy to watch. To think
Mm.
that a year ago I was having a kid, and now she's just like a functioning human being. Is crazy.
Did it fit? Was it scary? Like you thought that if you when having a kid, a lot of people like to think that they're not ready for it. Did you ever have those feelings like you weren't ready to have a kid or like you weren't ready to be a father?
I definitely could see how people feel that way. Um, for me, coming from a big family and like having a dad that I admire so much, it was like I knew I wanted to be a dad,
Hmm.
and I felt like it was only. Like, I've been in situations where I thought I was gonna have a kid before me and Mateo were together, but like knowing that Mateo is my person, like that's like there's nobody else, and then having a kid with
Hmm.
her, it was way different. I was just ready. You know what I mean?
I feel that. I feel that. Just knowing like you're with that one person, then you could just take on the world together.
Right.
Just becomes easier.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, like, it's my best friend at the end of the day. And granted, like,
Hmm.
there's so many dynamics, and I'm sure there's different, like, everybody's different to an extent. But like for me, I love Evie and I love Matea, and I'll do anything to protect them. But like that scenario of like, would you rather save your wife or your daughter? I know that my answer is Matea, but I know her answer is for me to save Evie. So like, it's something me and Matea's talked about where kind of like involving the men's mental health stuff of like the weight that men carry that is so
Hmm.
overlooked. And I was like, I get to an extent like women think that men have it easy because they accomplish these things, but there's so many things going on in the background that people don't even take into consideration. So
Oh,
like
100%.
when we find out she's pregnant, and then like we're talking about like this is our plans, this is what we want to do, and then we start talking about like, well, what if something goes wrong? Like, what if you're giving birth and they're like, hey, you have to save
Oh
the
yeah.
mom or the baby. So like even that alone is like Taya can't respond to that question, so that falls on
Nah.
me. So do I choose my daughter and let my wife die, or do I choose my wife and then have her? Because like so the survival is guilt of like Mateo working 9 months to grow this human, and then it dies. She's gonna have that to live with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then it's gonna be hard to like continue that and try to
Right.
make more, and then
Right.
it's just like, what if this happens again? It's just gonna be overthinking and then
Right.
anxiety and
So that's I think that's one of the things that it really it like to the extent Mateo's always kind of been like she's been aware of like the stuff that men go through. I mean,
mm,
especially like talking to me and kind of getting like different perspectives. But like that, I think was a moment that she was like, okay, this is like way deeper than I think. You know what I mean?
yeah, I feel you. I
And
feel you on that.
she used to be the one that would like make fun of people for having jacked up trucks, and I was like, bro,
The lifted kits and shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And she'll say like, oh, like if your penis is small, just say that. I'm like, bro, come on.
I still remember. I still remember. I went down to Pikeville and we were. Oh man, I forget where we are eating at. I think it was that Japanese. Uh, oh man, I can't remember the name of it. It was a Japanese
Oh,
place,
Takaya,
and
after you graduated?
yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I
like
forget.
after I graduated, came down, and then we're all sitting at a table, and then these group of dudes walk in, and then I just hear her say, "I smell virginity over there," and she looks at me, and she's like, "Not you, Nick. You're okay."
Bro, she's hilarious. But yeah, no.
I just wanted to stand. I was like, I'm just gonna go take my seat if you don't mind.
But it was like that. Do you watch any of the Sideman stuff?
Mhm.
When they did when they used to do vlogs before like they were like too famous to go out in
Oh
public,
yeah, dude.
and Vic's walking and he's He's like, they're like, I hate walking, and Vic's like, walking makes the day go faster. And some lady's walking the opposite direction, and she goes, no, it doesn't. And then he goes, all right, I'm gonna head out.
I'm gonna head out. I'll see you later.
He said, I
Oh my
wish y'all had
god.
been able to see her face because it was so straight, and she meant that. Like, no, it doesn't.
It's like her entire being is like, no, I don't think walking to not make everything faster. She probably just needs a car or something.
Something, bro. She's going through it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so based off of my bio, what would you say different? What would you add?
Like your bio of
Like my
like,
intro.
oh, your intro.
Yeah.
Honestly, you did great. I mean, right now I'm not done. I'm almost graduate. I graduate in 2 days, so I don't have my degree yet. But at the same time, it's like I'm in my finals week. I just finished one final. I got 2 left that I'm gonna burst out after this, and then
You're gonna bust
I'm just
him.
gonna bust him. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna bust him out and walk on the stage and do a backflip. No, I won't. I won't do a backflip. I'll break my neck. But other than that, like your intro, spot on. Like, almost made me cry.
Well, I'm glad. I like to consider myself a professional when it comes to this. I think that's the biggest thing that I enjoy about the new job is like it gives me a little more freedom with like my other stuff I got going on.
Oh, 100%. Like you get the freedom to sit down. You just get to run over paperwork, and then you come home, you stream, you do your thing. You're living life, man. You're living the fucking life.
Yeah, I really do enjoy it. And Mateo likes to be a stay-at-home mom, which I was concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
But granted, like now we're having a conversation of like she doesn't want to spend my money, but like she's getting to the point where she doesn't really have money to spend because she doesn't have anything coming in.
If she's a stay-at-home mom, then isn't she like supposed to?
Yeah, but it's just like Mateo's always been independent, so it's weird for her to spend somebody's money that's not hers.
Don't you got like joint accounts?
Yeah, so I just got her added to mine.
Oh, okay.
But she was like, I don't want to spend your money, and I was like, that's the thing, Mateo. It's not my money anymore; it's ours.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's not my money. It's our money.
But granted, eventually I know she's gonna have to do something. She's gonna have to find something to do because she's gonna get tied up in just being bored. You know what I mean?
100%.
Especially when
I mean,
to
there
the point
could
where
be.
she's not as dependent on her.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now it's kind of
Like
up in
when,
the air.
like with how Evie is right now, her just being 2
no,
or
she's
1.
only
I mean,
one, yeah.
she just turned 1. My nephew is turning 2, so that's why I kind of
Yeah.
nephew niece. She turning 1. She's exploring now. She's walking.
Yeah.
When I went to come down to visit, I was surprised she was walking. I was like, holy,
She is.
okay.
As soon as she could get up on her feet, she was moving. And then she always
I was
is
like,
so
holy
much
shit.
faster when you're not looking. So like when she was crawling, it was like she was crawl super slow. Second you look away, she just
She's gone. It's
But now
like,
she
oh, they're
like
looking away.
one night
Usain
yeah,
Bolt.
literally. One night I was in there. I think I was getting ready for stream, and she's like roaming around the house like she does. And I look up and she comes running through the bedroom. We just got all new carpet, so it's like white. Like you saw it, right? You saw the carpet
Mhm.
when you were. She
Yeah,
comes
yeah, yeah.
running through the house with a Mountain Dew that's like like orange. It's bright orange. She comes running through that like running, bro. Like she knew she wasn't supposed to have it. And she had got from the living room to like the bedroom and realized that she wasn't supposed to have it, so she started running really fast. And it was like splashing out, and I'm like, Evie. But we kind of
Did it go all over the carpet?
No. Literally, it was like maybe 6 or 7 little splash marks. They were tiny, but it was just because she got real excited and she was like throwing it around. But yeah, it was close to being a disaster.
Yeah, just spill the entire Mountain Dew on the new carpet. That would have been a
Literally. But
crazy
yeah,
cleanup.
when she knows she's doing something she's not supposed to or has something she's not supposed to, she just gets so much faster.
Dude, just wait till she's like 3 or 4. She's gonna be sprinting everywhere.
Well, we're hoping that she's in the phase right now of like an early terrible twos phase because she just the days depend on themselves, but like some days she's just like she's so like I don't want to say bad because she's just a baby.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like today, like
It's
his dad
like,
took her out and she just like was fine. They had breakfast, it was cool, and then they went to the store and she just had a full mental breakdown and was like crying so hard she couldn't breathe.
oh yeah, my nephew does that shit a lot.
Yeah. So,
Like
granted,
he and
they're
then all
kids,
my brother does is turn on Mickey Mouse and boom, it's over. It's like Eevee's version of Moana.
but she loves Moana.
Hmm.
Danny Go now. She,
What happened?
I don't know
See
what.
Danny go?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we were at Tripp's house and
Hmm.
they had it on the TV and we were like, Danny Go, and then Evie loved it. So like she dances to it. But yeah,
Danny go. You gotta when she gets older, you gotta introduce her to the OG Teen Titans, dude.
yeah, that was a solid one. You're talking about like the
Hmm.
before they switched it over to like heavy
That
cartoon.
Teen Titans Go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or you started with Teen Titans Go, and then you're like, there's something better, and just open the Pandora's box of all like the old shit.
yeah, bro. I mean, it's crazy to think, bro. It's already going by fast, and when people say like
Hmm.
it goes by fast, they mean that. But it's just wild, bro. Just enjoy it,
Because one day you fall asleep, she's a little kid, and then the next day you wake up, she's like a toddler. She's in school now.
bro. Literally, the quote that hits the hardest is like, "One day you're gonna put your kid down, you're never gonna pick him up again." That's heavy.
Yeah. Fuck, that is heavy. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Oh
crazy
man.
to think, bro.
But what do you
Not
call
me.
it?
I'm gonna be carrying around my 14-year-old.
You're just gonna be carrying him around on your back, taking him to Disney.
Bro, we want to go to Disney here soon,
Hmm.
especially
Yeah,
with
because when I was down there, you were on Disney. You went to Disney on Ice.
bro, and she loved that. So like, I
Hmm.
can only imagine how
I'm
much she
trying to
would
go to
enjoy
Disney.
Disney.
I've been trying to go to
Mateus talked to
that
agents.
Galaxy's Edge.
Mateus talked to
It's the
agents.
you talking to who?
Mateus talked to agents about going to Disney. They have like people that plan your whole
Oh,
trip and stuff. So
okay.
we might be able to figure something out.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to go see that Galaxy's Edge because I'm a Star Wars guy.
So you saw the new
I
movie?
got yeah. Well, it's not new. It's a rerun of the old one. It's 4K upscaling of Revenge of the Sith. Oh my god. I got the bucket and I got the Darth Vader helmet. I'm a
Bro,
nerd, bro.
I won't. Okay, I can't say I've never been a Star Wars guy. When I was younger, my buddy was into Star Wars heavy. That and Jurassic Park.
Mm.
And there was a Star Wars game. Um, he had it. It wasn't like on a system. It was like a separate, like the ones you one of the games you plug in,
Yeah,
and we played that all night long, bro.
dude. I still I have like all the Lego Star Wars. Like I have the original complete saga of 1 through 6 and I have the new one which incorporates the sequels, the utter downfall of Star Wars, the Disney bullshit, but
I mean,
I still play it.
like you to an extent though that has to happen. Like nobody's ever gonna be because it's kind of happening with Marvel right now. Like it's like
Yeah.
once you get past the Avengers, it's like where do we go from
There's
here?
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's nothing you can go from. Like it's just how people I just like to see it as like how people like upscale these sequels of movies and they're just not as good as these older movies. Like you go to all like the choreography and how they run down their choreography and the fights and all that in the new movies, it doesn't scale to anything from the past. Anything. And with Disney being such a big corpo, right? They don't have the money to get better choreography.
I think it's just their focus is somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what that focus is, but it definitely wasn't on Star Wars. I just
Yeah,
don't see it. But I do like the shows that they brought. Andor, oh my god, Andor's a
Mandalorian. You're
great
a big
show.
Mandalorian guy.
Mandalorian, I love the Mandalorian. I love the Obi-Wan series, the Ahsoka series.
So maybe that's
Um,
the focus though. Maybe it's more focused
yeah,
on
the
the shows.
shows.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if they're bringing back the shows, because they probably realized how bad they did with the sequels, they went to shows of bringing back like the old stories of
Right.
like Obi-Wan after he beat Anakin on Mustafar and then like all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And they got Ahsoka, which was from the Clone Wars, back into yada yada. And it's just new stories, new everything. And Andor, oh my god, like I said, it's probably the best show I've watched. That's still coming out. It's season 2 right now, but it's so visually appealing into how the resistance started or the rebels started against the Empire. Oh, great show. Mm. But besides that, what do you call it? There was a question I had. This is off topic from all like the Disney and all this other stuff. But because when we went on that golfing trip, you said golfing expenditure. We talked about God, right?
Right.
And how you were thinking about coming to walking the path of becoming a Christian. Did that happen when you had Evie, or when you had Evie? You just think about like there's nothing to like if I have Evie, that there has to be something like I have to follow because something that holds me morally ground, right? Or was it a different reasoning?
I would say like there's a lot of factors that played into it. I think that Evie definitely was like the nail in the coffin in a sense
Mm-hmm.
of just like I like having Evie. That moment was like, okay, this is bigger than me. Like being there in the delivery room and like the energy in the room was like nothing I ever felt before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Just
And
like a overwhelming presence.
yeah, it was just like we've been in rooms before together that have been like super heavy. Like they just
Mm-hmm.
feel like evil.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like that adverse of that. Like it was very light. And it's like there's so many people that are like experiencing joy for us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then like of course the feelings that me and Matea have, but I think that was like kind of that solidified it for me. And I think like my ultimate coming to I had been like getting into more scripture and like um, I'd say what opened the door the most was probably that sober October of us reading the Bible.
Yeah.
So like I'm reading Genesis and I'm like, this is interesting. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
like it's something I've done before, but like at that point, like I guess I was more open to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With
There was
with previously having
mm-hmm.
Evie, like I was open to the understanding of like there's something bigger at work than my hard work. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And there was something that I read that kind of solidified me into becoming like a Christian. Like I have to I want to get rebaptized, right? And I want to be baptized in the river of Jordan where Jesus was baptized. But with everything going on over in where it's at, that's kind of seems like an impossibility, but at the same time I still want to go do it because if I walk with God, no evil shall harm me, right?
Yeah, I get where you're coming
You have
from.
the armor of God. You got armor of God, right?
Right.
And then I was reading up on like just like all these YouTube shorts and everything, and I saw this short where it talked about the Old Testament and how starting from Genesis up to Leviticus, it spells Yahweh, which is God, forward. I think every 7 letters or something like that. And then after Leviticus and up until like the New Testament, it spells Yahweh backwards. So it's pointing to Leviticus. And then this in Leviticus, it's the one book that talks about like the coming of it just keeps talking about God over and over again. Every seventh letter is has spells out YHWEH in all in that there's something in Leviticus that God wanted to show us. Like I don't know understand how these artists or not artists, these authors of these different books because there were 20 different people that wrote the Bible.
Right.
20 different like witnesses. Like there were witnesses in the New Testament and there's also people in the Old Testament. 20 different people that always came to the same conclusion that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and that God is the only one and true only. So there's something in Leviticus that people need to read through to actually understand everything about it. That's how I saw it when
So,
I was reading the
a
Bible.
little interesting too. So the way we read like that the word Yahweh
Yeah.
and the way that it's spelled in ancient, what is it, Aramaic?
Hebrew.
Yeah, so like the Aramaic, I think I'm saying that right. Is like
Yeah, Aramaic. Yeah.
the translation, like how it's expressed that way, is like taking a breath.
Mhm.
So if you think about it in that sense, like we say Yahweh, but really it's the pronunciation is just breathing. So if you take a deeper look at that, the first thing you do when you're born is take a breath, and the last thing you do before you die is you take a breath.
Damn.
Heavy stuff.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
And there was this guy, and back onto the point of like the 20 different authors. There's this guy. He was this pastor. He's talking about how 20 different people, or pastor or reverend, I can't remember. It was this big church, like big modern church. He's talking to people. He's on stage, like normal clothes. He's not in like the preacher's clothes, like with the little
Do you have tattoos on
collar
his
and all
neck?
that. Yes.
Yeah, like
The
a
bald guy?
white dude, bald.
No, black bald guy.
Oh, that's 2918 church.
Yeah, 2918. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's talking about how the one thing that sent me like spiraling is that there are 20 different authors in that book that all came to the one same conclusion. You can't get 20 different people in the world into a room and have the same exact outcome of something, or the same outcome of a topic, or
Right.
agree on a topic.
Right.
Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's a mathematical impossibility.
Well, too, like I like a lot of his stuff. Different Church is good too. Like I listen to their sermons. But he went on a podcast and they asked him like why is Jesus Christ the way? Like people like there's other religions that believe in different gods, so like why is Jesus the right way? And he said ultimately it comes down to just like historical proven fact.
Yeah.
He was like, if you look at stories from the Bible, they've been historically proven to be accurate.
Yeah.
He said, and there's more.
And archaeologically,
Yeah.
or however you say it.
And he was like, when you add that to the fact that there were eyewitnesses to the acts of Jesus,
Mhm.
and Jesus walking the earth, there's proof of this. And he said, you have people that claim to have been at his crucifixion and see him living after.
Yeah,
He
you
said-
have 12. You have many people that
Right.
that witnessed that.
He said, I think it was like hundreds. I could be wrong, but like hundreds of people saw him alive after he was crucified. He was like, so ultimately, we know Jesus was a real person. There's no questioning that. So ultimately, the question comes on: is Jesus? What was he used a certain? He said, Jesus was a real person, and he said that there's only one way through my Father, what it may be. So he said, if we know he's a real person, and we know that these stories to be true, people saw them, then there's only one thing that would lead us to if is Christianity correct or not, and that is, was Jesus an honest man? He said, because if that's the case, right, this man for sure existed. People for sure saw him do these things. There is eyewitness testimony that this happened.
Mhm.
So, was Jesus being honest when he said that there's only one way?
He is being honest.
And
because if he was this like figure, this person that walked the earth, he died, came back 3 days later after defeating death and rose from the dead, and and people see him. He's
Right.
an honest man.
Right.
He's the only perfect person in the world. Why would he lie? Lying is a sin.
So, I like his stuff. It's a little more like, I don't know. So I went to church with Matea's family for Easter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went to Matea's grandma's church. And it's apostolic.
Mhm.
Granted, like I'm not a church guy. I tend to do my worshiping of God on my own time.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah. So
I don't like the Catholic Church and how they try to get their message out. Like, I respect them, I love them, but that's how they get their message out with fear mongering, is because a lot of my friends that I tried to get into church when I was Catholic, they told my friends that if you don't go to church every Sunday, you'll go to hell. I'm just like, well, that's not true at all. This is God's planet. This is God. Everything on this planet is God's church.
Right.
So technically, you're going to church every day by waking up in the morning.
Yeah. But for me, it wasn't a bad time. I just don't. I think for me, I enjoy like the more Bible study type.
Oh yeah.
Instead of going and doing the whole singing and let's sing a song, and that's just not my vibe.
Yeah. I don't really like singing. As you can tell, I do not have the voice of an angel.
But like Matea enjoys it, and she likes having like a congregation of people, and I get that. But that's just not something I need. Like I'd much rather like go and do Bible study and learn about the scripture and get a different way of thinking. So that's what I like.
Yeah, but Bible study is a great way to learn about scripture, because like you go there and then like you read a verse and then you discuss about the verse, and then a lot of people will have different interpretations of that verse.
Right.
And then you all come to a conclusion that it only means one thing.
Yeah.
It's a great way. I was in a Bible study group all the way through high school. It was a great time. We talked about different verses in the Bible, everything. I still keep in touch with the people that started it, and they're well off. One of them moved to Iowa. I still talk to him. Great people. Like probably one of the most friendly people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, but I know I enjoyed. I went to Bible study before I got baptized, and I really enjoyed that. And it was kind of like, well, that's disappointing because I'm about to leave Pikeville, but I really enjoyed that. It was a good time.
I didn't know that because it was a church in Pikeville that you got baptized, right? It was that main church.
Yeah. Cornerstone.
Cornerstone. When it wasn't the one on campus. Oh no, there isn't one on campus, is there?
No, there is. I mean, it's like a chapel.
Oh, there is. Oh, it's a chapel. Okay,
Yeah.
So it's not like a church with like the. Okay, so you went to a church and then Rob Music. So is Rob Music the pastor there?
No, so the guy who did the church, it's the main pastor is a professor at UPIKE. So I reached out to Rob about getting baptized, and I said I wanted him to do it, and then he was like, "All right, cool." And then he got with Paul, and they let us use Cornerstone.
That's what's up. How'd it feel? Wet?
Yeah, wet, slick, bro. I was scared I was gonna fall. And like also
you were going in barefoot. And I was just like, oh man, he's about to eat.
Bro, so like we like look at the tub and stuff before we do it, and Paul's like running it out. He's like, hey, so like they took our stairs out because they were bad, and they put these new ones in, but they're really big. So like you'll have to like kind of corner it and make sure that he doesn't like hit his head on the stairs. And it was not convenient for somebody that's 6 feet tall. And Rob is like a shorter guy, like he's not very big. So I was nervous about getting dropped. I told him before he dug me, I said, don't drop me. and then you play that into the slickness of it was like, you know when when your like pool gets like a layer of slime on it?
Yeah.
Like the bottom was not textured, so like it was kind of that vibe. Like it was very slick.
Oh,
so like
no.
Rob gets in, and I help him down, and I get in, and Rob has me, and I hit the last stair, and I like kind of slip, and he catches me, and then when he goes to dunk me, my feet like slide, so I'm like, it's kind of like a panic, like I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? But no, yeah,
it was God's hand pushing you into the water faster. It's like, here you go, my son. There you go. Take it all.
I've been waiting on this for a long time, son. Yeah.
And I'm not letting you back out.
Yeah. But no, I think I don't know, some of the stuff that I've watched is like a lot of people say like, oh, to be Christian you have to have XYZ, you have to have it all figured out. And I don't think that's the case at all.
Not at all.
I saw the sermon of a guy talking about this guy at a church asking if he had to stop smoking weed to like.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
But even like the context of, I don't think that if you have like an addiction or something that you're trying to get rid of, I don't think you should ask God to take it away from you. I think you should take the incentive to like correct the issue if you know that it's not
Oh
something
yeah.
God wants you to do.
Oh, 100%.
Because at that
It's like,
sense,
and it's also. Mhm.
right, at that sense, it's like you want to make the effort to make God proud in a way, opposed to being like, "Hey, take this from me." Like it's one thing if it's like something you can't fix, but like an addiction is something people like overcome every day. So
Yeah, it's one of those things where I also saw in the Bible where, like, let's say, for example, lust, right? People that have struggle with like porn addictions, right? People have interpreted you, how God wants you to attack that, but instead of having him take it, he tells us to run away from it. He doesn't tell he just tells us to run away.
Right.
He doesn't tell us to fight it head on or like give it to him. He tells us to run away from it because that's just it feels like that also feels like it extends into other addictions. Like you don't give something to God that's bad. Like you could like you give him like your thoughts like that you have bad thoughts, you get with God about it, he talks you through it.
Yeah.
Then you got all of this other bad stuff like you're about to do something bad, you call it to God, blah blah blah, right? But with this, it's an addiction. It's holds on to you like a leash. You got to run away from it. You got to pull it off and run before it catches you again.
Absolutely. And too, like right now, my biggest thing is I'm trying to cut back on the cussing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm doing good. Granted, a lot of Mateo kind of said the same. Like it's kind of the same wave right now, where we're both trying to cut back on it. Because Evie's just like she's everything we do. She just
Impressionable.
oh, dude.
Yeah, my nephew's the same way. My my mom was in the living room with my nephew, and she said in sentences like that when we cuss, he doesn't repeat that. He repeats the last word that's said.
Yeah.
So my mom, she dropped something on the floor and she said shit, and then my nephew he said shit.
Yeah, Evie was on a kick of saying it all the time, bro. And that's Matea. That's what Matea says. If she drops something or whatever, that's her go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it started, they looked at me and I was like, "Oh no, that's not me." If she started saying the F word, then you could look at me. But the S word, that's a Matea thing.
That's all her. Don't look at me. I'm gonna look this way.
So like we've cut back on cussing, and then Matea kind of said like the biggest problem she has with it is like,
I saw that dust bunny. Or is that a moth or something?
Fly, bro. Matea said that her biggest issue is whenever she's around people, like it tends to
Come out of her.
yeah, it comes out. I think my settings.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna hide really quick, chat.
check. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I need a new PC.
Oh yeah, no. So it was the frog. Yeah, it was the frog that I was looking at. Starts with his G. Starts with a G.
Ugh.
But yeah, that's sick. That's slick.
Ugh. That's one thing too. I wanna get Evie into anime eventually, but I don't want her to be one of those weird
right.
kids. It's like I have God and anime on my side. I don't want that.
Oh.
Yeah.
But dude, that's the thing. You don't really have to like. It's one of those things where anime is so friendly with children. I mean, not really,
It
depending on what
depends
you
on the
watch.
anime. Yeah.
Like, if you watch Promise Neverland, like, have you seen that?
No.
Oh my God, it's about this orphanage, and they're surrounded by these walls, and these kids like try to escape the walls, and there's these monsters outside. And then, like the first episode or first or second episode, one of the kids gets eaten live, and you just see blood and everything going splatter everywhere.
I've
And it's like, oh, that sets the tone.
I go through phases. Like I'll watch like TV or movies heavy, and then I'll watch YouTube. I'm on a YouTube kick right now because I've watched all my shows. I watched the new season of Reacher.
Oh, dude, I've been watching Reacher. It's so good.
You watched the new season?
No, no, wait, is that the one with the where he's like working on the complex with the rich dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like halfway through it.
Yeah. So I was watching that. They were dropping them every Thursday, and I was watching them by episode. And I would be like, oh, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait so that I don't like have to wait a full week, and then I'd immediately Thursday. That's what I do. I'd watch them. But then I started rewatching it, and then I was like, okay.
And then it
But
just all comes in. And
yeah,
like right when you're done rewatching it, the next episode's already done. Or
yeah.
out.
I've been thinking about going and like rewatching like I used to watch How I Met Your Mother a lot when I was younger.
Oh, it's such a good movie. Or not movie, show.
So I've been thinking about going and finding that and watching that start to finish. But honestly, I'm more of a movie guy. I'd much rather rewatch a movie than watch a series.
If there's one series I do recommend that just came out, or not just came out, but the season 2 just came out. It's called Solo Leveling.
So you watch some weird stuff, Nick. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Dude, it's a shonen. It's a shonen anime where this guy, he's like the weakest hunter, and then he gets reawakened and becomes how he gets stronger is by leveling up in a game. Like a video game.
I think I have seen stuff from that. But no, I ain't really been on too much of an anime kick here recently. I've had discussions about my Naruto leg sleeve with my tattoo artist.
Oh,
I actually I can't really show you. I'll send you a picture. But I just started my leg sleeve on my other leg.
Oh, okay.
I literally got so many tattoos in a short period. So I got both my arms done at the same time. And then I went back for Hillbilly Days and got that leg tattoo. So I don't think this picture is finished. Yeah, so he added a little bit more shading and stuff to it after that.
Oh.
But you get an idea. So that is actually a integration of what is that, yeah, it's Assassin's Creed Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And
yeah, Ragnarok or Valhalla.
Valhalla, yeah, and Thor from Endgame.
Oh.
So
okay.
once he added the shading, he went in and put whites in the eyes and did like lightning coming out of them. Tough. So that's like the first tattoo I did outside of the battle every day on my leg to start that sleeve of the battle every day. So it's gonna be like different warriors, and it's gonna be sick.
Dude, you gotta put Leonidas on that motherfucker.
I've been kind of playing around with different. I think I really like the idea of getting like a Native American and like a headdress. Just because I feel like that'd be a sick tattoo, like an addition, and it takes up space.
Yeah, because the headdress is gonna be fucking.
And then I was thinking just like ripples, like waves, like on the beach. You know how when waves come up, it's like different lines.
Yeah.
I was gonna do that around my ankle to start it, and then like work my way up with faces. And the waves were gonna like resemble like beaches in Normandy, right? Well, when I pitched the leg idea to my tattoo artist, he was like, "Yeah, well, I could do those like U-boats," and I was like, "I didn't even think about that, but that's sick." So like when I went to get my leg sleeve started, I had this idea and the Beaches Normandy idea, and his biggest struggle was that the pictures are so grainy that it was hard for him to get like I guess like an outline. You know what I mean?
I thought you were gonna say something like your ankles were or something like that.
No,
like weird ankles.
no. But I don't know. Like I'll see what he comes up with, but I wouldn't be opposed to just doing like the waves with like maybe like helmets. I think that would be sick.
Like World War II helmets?
Yeah, like Beaches Normandy, like doing the waves with like the helmets on the beach. And then I know the back, probably my calf, is gonna be like the iconic picture of like the soldiers lifting the flagpole.
Yeah.
And then everything else is kind of just what can I fit in there. I know the top, like where I have the cardinal out of my thigh, is gonna be. I'm gonna get that covered up and do my 3 big mascots: so a bear, a tiger, and a wolf. And that's gonna be the cap.
What do you call it? This on the topic of like the beaches of Normandy and like World War II. Did you see that that Kanye went on stream for 7 minutes before he got banned because he kept talking about Hitler and all that?
Bro, we talking about with
Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Did you hear the music?
Huh?
Did you hear the music he was playing?
No.
Okay,
was he
bro.
Playing Erica?
So there was like a couple different clips. So I think he was live for a while, and he was basically just like hanging out at Sneako's place. Well, they were previewing music, and like one of them was like crazy, like
Anti-Semitist or like crazy?
bro, like calling his boys Nazis. All my boys Nazis, hail Hitler, like in a song. And then of course Sneako's got like his camera, like it's like a long desk. So like Sneako has his camera set up and is pointing down towards the door. Well, Kanye's wife walks in wearing what she's been wearing, like see-through clothes.
Nothing.
So Sneako
literally nothing.
Sneako's like on his phone or something, he looks up and he sees her coming and he covers his camera so that you can't see her.
Goddamn. I mean, we see her every day and where he's on the news.
Yeah, but like he would get banned on stream for that.
Didn't he go to the Grammys like with his wife and then like she took off her clothes like facing the wall or whatever it was?
Bro,
like,
I don't know. I don't know.
Like,
what Joyner Lucas was it? I'm pretty sure it's Joyner Lucas put out a song talking about like he's like talking to God and asking why God took these people, and he said to bring back Kanye's mom because Kanye ain't been the same ever since.
Damn.
He said like when
Kanye did say something about like if he disappeared and comes back, it's not him or something like that.
Well, he said something along the lines of like bring back Kanye's mom because when Kanye's mom died, his brain died or something. And who was it? I saw somebody talking on a podcast. It was a Christian podcast. Oh, it wasn't. It was the Sean Ryan show.
Oh shit.
So Sean Ryan had a guy on there that worked in the sex industry. I actually was going to talk to you about this, but had a guy that worked in the sex industry on, and the guy was talking about like OnlyFans and like all that stuff and how it works. And Sean was like, "Oh, is Kanye on OnlyFans again?" He said, "I don't know." And he was like, "Yeah, it's just weird because like he claimed Christianity." And then the guy said, "I don't think Kanye was ever a Christian. I think that he liked the idea of what a Christian is." And I was like, "Ooh, that's tough."
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
Like
I
the
just don't, I don't know
because so
there's
like
a lot of
the way he said it is like Kanye liked the idea of Christianity, like uh giving your like insecurities and stuff to God. He liked that concept. He said, but when you're in a place like Kanye where you have guys around you that are like, you're the guy, it's hard to say, I'm not the guy, he's the guy. Which
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
does make a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
there's also like there's a scripture about that too. It's like beware of wolf in sheep's clothing, or people who pretend to be Christian but actually aren't, or people that preach false prophecies and like the false pastors and all this other stuff. And like Kanye could have been one of those wolves in sheep's clothing. We never know.
Right.
But or maybe he was actually a Christian and people just didn't believe him.
Right.
Like
And I think
there's this chick that was like a huge OnlyFans model. Her name was like Nala something. Turned to Christianity, turned to God, right? And people are like dogging her, like, you're not a Christian because you've had sex with so many people. It's like, who are you to say that she's not a Christian
Right.
and not giving yourself to God?
So I think
it goes both ways.
So when I have Rob on, if you haven't watched that one, you definitely go back and watch it. It's a good episode. But that was something we kind of talked about, is like what we struggle with the most as followers of Jesus. And he asked me what mine was, and I told him, I was like, I feel like judgment. I said I feel like a lot of my values of the way I see the world are different than the way God sees the world. I said for me,
100%.
I said I feel like my two biggest like no-nos is like if you do a crime against a child or a woman. I said, and although that is somewhat agreed upon in society, that isn't the case when it comes to Christianity.
Yeah.
Like a lot of forgiveness plays into a role in like how you treat people, and like you have to love people that even you don't agree with. You know what I mean?
100%. Like,
So
there's a bunch of people that I talk to that don't share the same values as I do, but I love them as my neighbor, and I love the company that they like bring. Like there's like even like for example like people saying that being like gay is a sin, right? I have a bunch of friends who are gay. I love them for who they are, but at the same time, you hate the sin, you don't hate the person.
right.
So it's like you want to have the connection with that person, but you're also denouncing the sin that they're committing. Not like in a way like you're denouncing them, but it's kind of like one of those things where you want them around, you like their company, but their sin that they're committing is like a whole different alley that needs to just be denounced. Like you don't recognize it.
But in the same sense, though, if you really look at that like from a biblical standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the concept is very man-made. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So like we have.
But isn't at the same time almost everything man-made?
Well, yes,
right?
but also that's the core, right? Like even in Genesis, everything was perfect until it wasn't. Until the serpent said otherwise.
Until Eve ate that fucking apple.
Well, not even that.
Blame women for everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is the downfall, I guess, of like everything being perfect. Like it was perfect, there was no problems, and then the serpent's like, "Hey, you should eat this apple," and then Evie does it, and it's like, well, now we're naked. We should probably put clothes on. You know what I mean? So like that concept plays into society a lot now. It's like we have thoughts that we know this is a Christian. Let's just say like a Christian way of life, right? And then the things that like Satan has put on earth and like instilled in people and told them that it was fine or whatever. You know, like like not cringe. I don't want to say cringe, but like I guess the like typical message is like this is Satan working, right? That then turns us away from people and makes us feel like weird when we're around people that sin and do things that you don't necessarily want to do because you know that you feel like it's wrong. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
When in reality, Jesus was hanging out with people that weren't,
they
the
weren't
best
clean.
people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was a girl that grabbed his cloth and she wasn't clean. I forget what unclean means, but I'm pretty sure it meant she was like bleeding. Right? Or she was it was ousted by society, and she grabbed Jesus's cloth because of the
I'm
faith
pretty sure
that
she's a
she had in him.
prostitute.
Yeah, she was a prostitute. That's what it means. Yeah, she wasn't clean, and she had faith in Jesus to heal her of her cleanness. And she didn't even interact with him.
Right.
She grabbed his cloth, and then he's like, he felt power rush out of him, and he's like, "Who touched me? Who touched my cloth?" And he turned around, and he saw the woman, and he's like, "You are clean now." It's like a whole thing. Oh, what'd you bring? It's my mom.
Hello.
It's my boy TJ. He's doing a podcast. Oh, she brought me some goodies.
Ooh, it's a little Sammy.
Little Sammy, chocolate chip cookie, and pizza.
Ooh.
And a little. What cake is this? Cheesecake? The bottom of the cheesecake? You gave me the whole cheesecake? That's crazy. Look at the crust, dude. She gave me the bottom of the cheesecake.
That's wild.
Well, thank you for bringing me food. Oh, that's funny.
I got Mattea made pineapple upside down cake, bro.
Oh, she did?
Oh, dude, it banged so hard.
Pineapple upside down cake.
I've been wanting it, bro. So I was like, "Yo, is there any chance you can make it this week so I can eat when I come home from work?" Dude, she was like, "It's falling apart. Like it's probably not good, bro." I would have ate the whole thing last night, no cap.
Damn.
Oh, I ate like a good quarter of it. I'm about to eat some after stream. I'm gonna make some noodles.
Noodles and pineapple upside down cake.
Bro, just carb
I'll
overload.
get it out. Yeah. Recycling tomorrow.
But yeah,
What you say?
noodles,
upside down.
noodles and pineapple, just carb overload.
Carb overload that motherfucker.
Mm.
Dude. So you said that you were gonna ask me a question about the what do you call it, the sex industry?
No. So I heard something in that Sean Ryan podcast that was really interesting.
Oh, that you're talking about.
He said that the guy who worked at OnlyFans, I think he said like 15 to 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
He said like the big streamer, like the people that are well known,
Mm-hmm.
they basically sign a contract with OnlyFans, and then like once a month they'll like go in and like take pictures and do this like whole day of content, right? And then they don't like.
Like, are we talking like male and female streamers, or like
Yeah,
streamers like
yeah,
Kaizenat and all that
yeah.
stuff?
No, like OnlyFans content creators.
Oh, okay. I was about to say like grabbing random content creators like Aiden or Kaizenat. It's just
Yeah,
it's a little weird.
No. So like OnlyFans, like adult industry creators, they'll like go and meet up with people from OnlyFans like once a month, and they'll like make all this content, and then they don't run their accounts. Like it's ran by some person like a third world country. So like every month they'll go and take pictures and make videos and stuff, and then they'll send it, like it just gets sent to the guy. There's like the 12 people that run their account in a third world country, and he said odds are, I'll tell you 98% positive that if you're talking to a big content creator, like
it's a bot. It's a different.
Yeah, he said it's some guy in a cave in Bangladesh.
Iron Man is like, I built this OnlyFans page in the cave.
Yeah.
With a box of scraps.
Yeah. So that was really interesting to me. He's like, oh, okay, that's very weird.
That's insane.
And then too, like on top of that, he was talking about like males to females, and he was like, Sean Ryan was like, so like, what is going on with the world? Like, sleeping with 1,000 people in a day, and yada yada.
Oh my god, dude! I saw that Bonnie Blue.
Dude. Anyways, he said, like, what's going on? And he said, well, in all honesty, like, you wouldn't ever see a guy do that.
No.
He said, and it's not he said, like, a big guy in the industry, they have a daily wage. So, like, they're making X amount of money. He said, so you're not going to see, like, let's say, like, Johnny Sins on, like, a gangbang.
Oh, no.
Like, Johnny Sins and Jordan Love, like, all the people that are big male, like, people in porn, they're not going to show up for a gangbang because they get paid a set amount for the day.
Yeah.
He said you get into a very low profit range when you do that. So, typically, they'll find a girl who's famous, who is down for a gangbang, and then post, like, everything works as a funnel. So like they'll post on Instagram and be like, hey, like I'm out here on such and such street in California. Like if you're a fan and you want to have sex with me, like bring a test. And then all these random guys will show up with STD and AIDS tests showing that they're negative, and then they get to sleep with her.
That's crazy.
Wild.
You want to know what I found out? That is a very, very weird fact. That majority of all the STDs in the world are from people having sex with animals.
Oh, like the creation?
The creation, yeah.
Of the virus. I get you.
Yeah, the creation of the virus is people having sex with animals.
So if you really think about it that way, then at some point, somebody that you slept with that has an STD slept with somebody who slept with somebody who slept with somebody who slept with somebody that slept with an animal.
Practically. A great grandparent virus.
That's diabolical.
That is diabolical. Like, it just got spread around, you know? And
no facts. But also, you gotta think. Okay, hold on. Joe Rogan had a bit about this, and it was actually kind of funny. He said, once like cavemen had like graduated to like bipeds, right, where we're all walking on two legs. At some point, one of the guys, like look at like gene pool and like people are less involved. He said, with that logic, at some point, somebody went back and had sex with a monkey. And they're like, dude, bro, what are you doing? And he's like, hey, bro, don't bash until you try it, okay? So Joe said that someone in his closer ancestry was sleeping with gorillas because of how gorilla-like he is.
Oh, speaking of gorillas, dude, what do you think about that 100 men versus
Okay.
one gorilla debate?
Here's my question. Do I get to handpick the men? Or is it just
sure.
100 random average guys?
Honestly, at that point, it doesn't really matter.
No, I think it does matter.
Because even if you got like 100-pound men, that's still 10,000 pounds of force if they can collapse on top of them.
No, I get
Gorillas
that.
can't lift that much.
I get that. But I'm saying,
let's say you handpick the people.
okay, I think one gorilla. Let's change it from 100 to 10. So 10 men versus a gorilla. It's definitely harder. That's what I'm saying. It's harder. But if I can handpick the guys, like I'm going Eddie Hall. Like
John Jones, Tom Aspinall.
If I can pick dead or alive, I'm bringing in Mark Henry.
Dude, honestly, I'm gonna throw a curveball here. Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett. Yeah, like you're talking about like top athletes, like
yeah.
Like Eddie Hall with World's Strongest Man. Mark Henry, World's Strongest Man. Mark Henry got mad one time because he was trying to break a quarter in half and he could only bend it. And then one time he was in the locker room and they were like trying to get into a locker or something. I can't remember the context. They're like trying to pick a lock, and then Mark Henry just grabbed it with his bare hands and ripped it off its hinges. And one of the guys in the WWE locker room was like, "Mark, if I ever say anything that offended you, I apologize." But like, if we get World's Strongest Men in there, like that's like the closest. I feel like in terms of man, right? Like average men walking around the street. A World's Strongest Man is the closest thing to a gorilla that we have as human beings.
Oh, 100%.
So, if I can get a couple World's Strongest Men, I can get some, like, heavyweight, like a prime Rampage Jackson, like a prime John Jones. I think they have a chance. Yeah, like a prime Mike Tyson, a prime Kimbo Slice. Okay, well, hold on.
Mike Tyson wanted to walk into the fucking enclosure
to fight a gorilla. I think he's got some screws loose. But yeah. So like, let's say, prime Mike Tyson. Okay, we'll go prime John Jones. We'll go prime Rampage. We'll go prime Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
There's 4 guys right there that can throw hands. Okay, then you got Mark Henry, World's Strongest Man, Eddie Hall, World's Strongest Man, and Brian Shaw, World's Strongest Man. So that's 7 guys.
Dude, I'm still putting Myles Garrett on my list. The guy that he just runs around. He's fast as fuck.
Ray Lewis, prime Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis, yeah.
What was the guy? Ooh, it's gonna make me mad.
What does he do?
He was an NFL. He played in the NFL.
What position? He's gonna look up NFL players and look down the entire list.
No. Lawrence Taylor, prime Lawrence Taylor. That's 9. Honestly, I'll take a prime J.J. Watt. That's solid.
Dude, J.J. Watt, that's a thought. Oh, man.
Because we're talking about guys that are like peak physical abilities. You know what I mean? And I feel like with that.
What about Gronk? What about Gronkowski?
No.
No? You don't think so?
He just doesn't have the edge for me, bro.
Yeah. I feel that.
But I think in terms fighting wise, all we gotta do is get the World's Strongest Man to try to corral this gorilla along with the NFL rushers, right? We're getting legs, we're getting arms, you know what I mean? And then we're just letting the fighters just punch him in the face.
Beat the bricks off him. I mean, we also have to consider. You also have to consider that the gorilla's skull is so much more dense.
That's fine.
Than a human skull.
But you're saying gorillas can't be knocked out?
Oh, they most definitely can.
Especially if you're
Probably
getting hit.
another...
I spaced. Let's get rid of one of the rushers. Let's get rid of Let's take J.J. Watt out, okay? And I'm gonna plug in Francis Ngannou because he hits as hard as a car.
Oh, dude, Francis Ngannou. I completely forgot about him.
But also, hear me out, okay? In terms of anatomy, gorillas aren't far off from us.
Oh, 100%.
So if we can manage to corral this gorilla long enough for John Jones to kick it in the balls, we have a chance. We have a chance. Have you seen the video of the bear who's like throwing the quarter out and it hits himself in the pole? Literally. But there's a video of a bear. I don't know if you've seen it, but he has his cable and he's like playing with it, and it's got a pole in the end and it hits him in his junk, and it immediately like gets a reaction. It's like, "Arr!" And it stretches out real far, So if that's the case with the bear, then a gorilla's got to be somewhat similar. So if John Jones full blown kicks a gorilla in his nuts, he's gonna feel it.
Yeah.
Now the after is either gonna be pain for a second and then rage, or it's gonna be pain.
Primal rage.
It's gonna be pain long enough for the rest of the fighters to curb stomp this gorilla.
Dude, or they just continue, or you just get all the fighters from behind them, and then they just take turns kicking its nuts, and it's just over and over.
yeah. Francis Ngannou, car punch to the nuts.
Then he switches out, then John Jones just bang.
Francis,
they keep going in a circle.
They get the gorilla on his back, and Francis Ngannou just Superman punches the gorilla in the nuts.
Or you get Mark Henry just to.
yeah. Oh, bro, the Big Show.
Yes, dude, the Big Show.
Bro, so if that's the case, right? If we're talking 100, if that's the case, if I just made a reasonable pitch for 10 people versus one gorilla, then one gorilla versus 100, the gorilla's scrapped, bro.
100%. Right. And there's people out here thinking that this gorilla's like Goku or something. Like he's got these superpowers that like makes earthquakes and shit. I'm just like, dude, are you stupid?
Now, granted, people's gonna die.
Oh,
yeah. So I'd say out of those 10, I'd say probably 4 die.
Yeah, it'd be sad to see him go, but they did it for the right cause.
Right. But also even if it was 100, right? Like people, they're gonna die. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, I think it's different. Like if it's like the way they do it, like if it's just like they drop a gorilla in the middle of a circle of people, that would be a better outcome than if it's like straight line of people running towards a gorilla, because then somebody's getting caught off rip bad, real bad.
Oh, Talk about a punch to the face that just breaks their entire
Literally.
anatomy.
Like, it might be a scene from Twilight where somebody gets grabbed by the arm and just tore in half. And then just throwing away, like, severed human body parts.
I was thinking like the gorilla picks up one of the people by the legs and starts using them as a weapon and starts swinging them
Also a
around.
possibility. Now, what I'll say, if it's 100 people, there's going to be a cutoff, like, a certain weight. I'm not putting Conor McGregor at 135 out there fighting a gorilla. That's just stupid.
I don't know.
I seen,
Gorilla can lift 1,800 pounds.
dude, I seen a meme today, and it was, I think it's from Zookeeper, where the gorilla has the guy in his arms, and the guy's singing to it. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, no, that's George of the Jungle.
Okay, yeah. And he's singing, I'm all out of love. I'm so lost with that. And then he stops singing, and the gorilla goes, "Huh!" He's like, ah! And he starts singing again. But it was like me after the 99 other guys die.
All out of love, and I just...
Okay, let me ask you this question. Chat, feel free to answer as well in chat. How many 10-year-olds at once do you think you can beat in a fight?
20.
20?
Oh, dude, I'm boxing. Dude, talk about... It's not even... It's like, it doesn't matter how many there are. Here's what I'm gonna do. It's a human, right?
Right.
Human 10-year-old.
Right.
It's about fear.
I like this because I'm on the same wavelength as this.
You kick the first one in the face. He's crying on the ground.
Bro, so hard.
Hand on his face, right? You grab his arm, break it,
Oh.
and then just look dead. You look dead into the eyes of the other 10-year-olds, and then they just run and shit themselves and run away.
Yeah, no, I said the same thing. Like, open field. Here's the layout, okay? Open field. You on one side, however many 10-year-olds on the other side, and y'all full sprint at each other.
Definitely 20.
Okay.
20.
I think 20, I'd say double digits. I could probably do like 10 to 12, 10 to 14.
I'm just going for.
Because I think about it this way, right? Like, you could only, at most,
like. Is it barehanded? Is it barehanded?
Yeah.
Okay.
Efficiently, right? A minimum of 2 hit at the same time. So, like, if you punch one, punch another one, then there's already 10-year-olds on top of you before you can punch another one. You know what I'm saying? Like, logistically thinking.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
if the goal is for you to try to kill as many of them as you can, and their goal is to get you subdued so you can't kill anybody, then they're just going to try to pin you on the ground. You know what I mean? But at the same time, the point you made about fear is serious. Like, the first kid, I'm going to look down the line and pick one out, and they're getting kicked so hard in their chest.
Look for the
And
one with the helmet.
at one point, I'm going to find somebody to punch square in their spine, so they do this thing. You ever seen a kid get hit in the back so hard they can't scream? If I punch a 10-year-old, hypothetically, this is a hypothetical. I punch a 10-year-old in the back and he drops to his knees. I could, pretty easy, right? Just when he's like, ah, then I just hypothetical.
Oh my god. I still remember that. I still remember the scenarios that we used to do. Remember the dude with you find the kid with the helmet?
Yeah. You're free, so free.
So free.
Also, Q did not know I was going there, bro.
Wait, what?
Q had no clue I was going there.
I'm going for the so free?
Yeah, because I said, like, I like your helmet. Can I wear it? He goes, thinking defense. I like it. And then I said, you got to think. Smooth brain. You're free, so free.
You're free, so free. Oh my god, dude.
Also, then, for perspective, if you drop the age, it's significantly more. Like, from 10 to, like...
Let's say 6.
I'd go younger than that.
8?
4.
Oh, 4? Oh, I thought you said older. I thought you meant, older. 4? Oh, yeah, 4? 4-year-olds? Dude.
Bro, bloodbath.
40.
Bloodbath.
Maybe 50. like talk about like Dexter, like the show Dexter, like 12 times as much as that.
Well, I see my 1-year-old and she's like still trying to figure out how to walk. So I'm thinking 4-year-olds are more efficient than that. But like, I put Evie in body triangles and stuff now, and she just cries. So like, it's a bloodbath, bro.
They punch my
Obliterating
leg. I
4-year-olds.
look down. They punch my leg. I look down at their fist. I just grab it and crush it in my hand.
Just like
it's just.
at that point, I can hit a flying knee and a Superman. Like flying knee into a Superman. Like.
And as they're in the air, you just Superman.
No, I'm saying like flying knees would as I'm Superman and another. Like jump into a Superman and just. Oh man.
Okay. Now, how about this, right? Let's say 50 humans versus a Black Panther.
A Black Panther, as in like Black Panther from Marvel, or Black Panther?
No, not from Marvel. No, not from Marvel.
Oh,
Like
real?
an actual.
Okay.
Not like the Wakanda forever. No, not that.
Like an actual panther.
Like a full grown panther.
So like what,
ready
150 pounds?
Like 200.
Okay.
I don't know why I did this.
Milk? Milk?
Milk, dude.
How many people would it take to kill it?
Yeah, I'm saying 50.
Okay, somebody made a very good argument when we're talking about the gorillas, right? You got to think, to an extent, at some point, ancestral-wise...
Fatigue.
No, at some point, ancestral-wise, we had ancestors that were fighting mammoths, saber-toothed tigers. Like, they were doing that. Granted, it wasn't with their bare hands, but, like...
Oh, yeah.
I'd say weapons or just bare hands?
Bare hands.
I definitely think it's less than 100.
Less? Dude,
Yeah.
I'm saying 50. I'm saying 50.
Yeah, I'd say like 50 to like 65, 70. I think that's a good range.
Like that's like those panthers, man. Oh my god,
Yeah.
they're ruthless.
Yeah.
Big ass fangs. Look at they're like this big of a fang.
Dude, I heard a podcast of this guy that goes out to the Amazon and
Malaria.
well, yeah, he said that stuff is crazy down there. But he started like a conservancy thing down there, trying to save the rainforest. And he said the biggest thing is people show up and they're like, "Bro, why don't we see any like animals?" And he's like, "Bro, you smell like a person. Why would an animal want to be around you?" He said, "You come out here smelling like cologne, expect to see an animal." He said, "Dude, I've been out here 15 years, and it's very rare that I see them." He said he had 2 encounters. Okay, I'm going to tell you these panther encounters, and you're going to sweat balls, okay? He said the first time he was out by himself, he was like right off the camp, like not even a mile, right? And he said that he is doing like monitoring this tree, like whatever, and he had this guy with him who hadn't been in the rainforest that long. Well, he said, like, I'm doing something and I hear him, so I'm like, oh, I'm going to like scare him because you can't see past your hand. So he like gets behind a tree because of how loud his friend's being. And he like pops his head out to be like, "Bro, why are you being so loud? Like, we're in the rainforest." And it was a panther. He said, and the panther's just like walking right past him. He says like crunching branches and stuff, and it just looks at him, like it stops and looks at him, and then was like, and then kept it pushing. He was like the craziest experience I've ever had in my life.
Oh my god, I'd be shitting bricks.
Dude, so this one's worse. He said the second time he was on a solo by himself, like he went out in the rainforest by himself. And one thing about the rainforest is everything is trying to kill you. So like the trees have like heavy metals in them, so like your compass doesn't even work. Like the needle will just spin. So like he goes on these solo hikes where he basically just goes out there and he's like, I'll get home eventually, because he knows he can live off the land and he knows where to find water. Like he's trained to be in like an outdoor environment, but it's just gnarly out there. So he goes out on a solo, and he has like a hammock, and he doesn't have a mosquito cover. So he's like, first 3 days were miserable. I'm getting eaten alive all night long by mosquitoes and bugs.
Malaria.
And he said that he has a fire, like he puts the fire out to go to sleep, and he's like laying in his hammock. He's like, and I hear, like I wake up to rustling sounds. He said, it's not uncommon in the rainforest. Like it's common to hear rustling. He said, but like, this is like loud. He said, I know it's something big. He said, I like hear it, and then it kind of stops. So I doze back off. He said, I'll come to, and I feel breathing against the hammock. And he's like, it's like right against the side of it, right next to my face. And he's like, I'm holding my breath, like terrified. And it was a panther. And it like basically come up on him and was like, I'm going to smell you and you're not going to move or I'm going to kill you. And then this panther just sniffs his head and is like, you get another day, and left.
That's crazy. It probably was the same panther.
Possibly. But
I recognize your scent. You're cool.
But he said out there is just crazy. Like, he said he got a cut or something one time, and like he's trying to like keep it clean and stuff. But you're in the rainforest, like you're sweating constantly and stuff gets in it. Yeah. And he's like scared he's gonna get an infection. Like it's like getting pussy and nasty. And his buddy who grew up in the Amazon was like, "Come with me." And they go to this tree and he like cuts his bark back and gets this sap and he puts it on there and he's like, he makes like a tea out of it. He's like, drink this, and then he drinks it.
Oh, I think I remember you telling me about that.
And within days, like it was healed.
That's
so like
shame.
the capabilities of the rainforest is to kill you, but also there's things that could save you. I'm sure there's things that could like cure illnesses that we have now that are just nobody knows about them.
It's big pharma, man. They just want you to take pills.
Yeah. Well, too, like. One thing that's really dangerous, like more dangerous than any animal out there, is like the uncontracted tribes.
Like the cannibal tribes and all that?
Well, I wouldn't say cannibal per se, but just like, think about it this way, okay? You live somewhere, you've never seen people, right? You have your own language, you have your own way of life. You don't know that 50 miles in the direction is like a civilized community with like TVs and they, whatever. Drive cars. Like that's not even a concept that you're capable of understanding. Okay? And then
that's insane.
One day you're out like doing your thing, you're hunting and gathering, and you see these big machine, like how would you describe a machine if you hadn't seen one before? You know what I mean?
Like the things of death.
Right. And it's like cutting trees down to make rubber. So that's like people going in and like, what's the word for that? Like illegally cutting down trees. It's the same as like when you kill an elephant and take its tusks.
Oh,
Not pirates.
Oh, no, not pirates. I know what it is. It's fuck. It starts with an S.
Chat. Anybody?
It starts with an S.
But that's the concept, right? So that happens. Well, there's like the people that do the Amazon work, they have like a WhatsApp that they use to like text and like share stuff and information and like share their findings or whatever. And he said that he got like a chain of pictures at one point because a whole bunch of people are loggers, that's what it is. They showed up.
Loggers or poachers?
Poachers, yeah. So a whole bunch of them had showed up to cut down trees in the territory of an uncontracted tribe. And it's just like guys like, hey, do you want to make this insane amount of money to go and cut trees down that you're not supposed to be cutting down? And they're like, yeah, cool, sure. So they go and they start cutting trees down. And he had these pictures in the group chat of these people that were cutting down trees. And they just like stuffed full of arrows, like on the beach. And like these uncontracted tribes just came and like lit them up and left them there. And then it's like, it's the middle of nowhere, bro. So like it takes a couple days. Finally, like the Coast Guard or somebody finds these people on the beach and they're just like big blobs, like white, like they're bloated and they've got all this salt and stuff in them. And they're like, yeah, Uncontacted tribe just put a whole bunch of arrows in him and left him on the beach. One of his buddies, so the guy that he's like close friends with, that grew up in the rainforest. They had a run-in with an uncontacted tribe where it's like they're at a river and the uncontacted tribe's on the other side, and like you can't communicate with them. They don't know what language you're speaking. You don't know their language. So like they're trying to show good deeds. So like his buddy is like waist deep in water and he's like pushing a boat of bananas to him, and they're all drawn back, and their bows are like not like a typical like bow and arrow. These are like 8-foot bow staffs, and they use like bamboo that's like carbon press. Like they heat them up and they get them real sharp. And dude's drawing back on him, and he lets the boat go, and the guy lets go of his arrow, and it literally just. He said, in written like person watching it, it was very fast. He said it was like as soon as the bow closed, my buddy is bleeding. He said my buddy, however, said it was the adverse to that, where he's watching this arrow come, and he just like moves his head, and it barely like takes the skin off the side of his face, but like literally has a scar from like the front of his face to the back of his head where this arrow just split him.
Insane.
And the same guy was out one day on a solo and was running from an uncontacted tribe who was chasing him, and he found this like hut, whatever, and he like goes into the attic of this hut and he's laying in there. So think, rainforest, it's hot, like insanely hot. Middle of summer, he's running from an uncontacted tribe where if they catch him, they're going to skin him alive. But he's in an attic. Yeah, literally. But he's in an attic that is extremely hot with no water. Like he's gonna die to the elements. So he basically is laying in this attic. Like, do I go out and let them skin me alive, or do I just sit here and die peacefully? Or not so peacefully, but more peacefully than being skinned alive. And of course, like he made it back and he was fine, but lived to tell the story. But crazy.
Don't fuck with the uncontacted tribe.
Dude, he said that he's gotten close. Like he's seen them, they've seen him. But it wasn't like a whole. He said like he was on a solo, he got lost, and he's like going up this mountain ridge where he knows there's water source, and he like comes to an opening and he sees smoke and he's like, oh, I shouldn't be here. And he sees like people.
We should not be here.
Yeah, yeah. But he sees people and they see him and they start like making call outs. And their call outs, he said, sounds like monkeys, which is even scarier to think that you hear a monkey and you're like, is that a monkey or is that a person?
Or whatever the fuck they do.
Yeah. So like they do like these like capuchin, I think is what it is, capuchin monkeys. Like they like have these sounds that they make to like talk. They use the same type of dialect so they know like this means this, whatever. So like he hears them start screaming and he just takes off down the mountain, running down this river, and then he hits the river and he just like starts floating down this river of like, well, they're either gonna catch me. He's laying on his back on this like raft he has, and he said like he looks over, there's like black caiman swimming next to him, and he's like, they're either gonna catch me or I'm gonna make it somewhere safe, and he ends up getting out.
That's insane.
Do you think you could survive in that environment?
With the knowledge I have now, no.
Well, see, that's the crazy thing too about him. What's the dude's name? It's I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, let me look this guy up.
It's not John. What is it? Paul Rosalie.
Paul Rosalie?
Yeah.
R-O.
Solie.
Okay, I got it.
So
oh, yeah, holy shit.
he is from New Jersey. And when he's in high school, his teacher was telling him, like, you know, the rainforest is dying, yada, yada. So his thought was, well, I want to go see this before it's gone. So he just goes out to the Amazon. He's like, hey, they said this was going to be gone. So I wanted to see it before it was gone.
Yeah, that's insane. Oh my god.
So his big thing is snakes, right? He used to catch snakes when he was in Jersey. And one of the
No,
big bro,
fuck, no, not snakes. No, I'm looking at this post. He's got this big ass spider on his face. Dude, what?
bro, listen. So
Hell
his thing is snakes,
no.
bro. So like he'll go out and catch snakes, and when he got to the Amazon, like the people that are from the area were like, bro, what are you doing? Like we leave snakes alone. And he's like, oh no, like they're not gonna hurt you. Like it's cool. So he like teaches a whole bunch of people how to catch snakes and like how to take care of it so that it's not hurt. So that's a large part of what they do in Amazon is they'll like go and track them and like put I'll catch really big ones and they'll put trackers in it so they can like track its movements and see how far it's moving, and then it'll just poop out the tracker, and then they have like the information they need. So he
Like,
said
they're like breeding grounds or whatever
right,
there is.
right, and then like just like the way they move in certain seasons and all that stuff. Well, he said they went out the first time they went out, they caught like an 18-foot anaconda. And it's
18 feet?
listen, just wait. So it's him and like 4 guys on a canoe, and they like roll up to this land, but it's like an island, but it's like just buoyant land. Like it's water underneath of it. It's just floating. They like wrestle this 18-foot anaconda and get on the boat and like do the measurements and everything and send it back, right? He said that's the biggest one we've caught and recorded. He said him and his buddy, the one that got hit with the arrow, were out one night by themselves. And he's up in a tree and he sees this anaconda and he's like, yo. He said, I'm probably like 25 feet above it, 20 feet. He's like, that's a big anaconda. Like, I need to catch this. So he said he basically like starts scaling down the tree, jumps on this anaconda's back. He said it wasn't until I was on top of it that I realized that my arms are around it and my fingers don't touch. He said, so I realized there's no way I'm getting this snake, especially not by myself. So he like lets go and he like falls over to his back and he has his arm under it. He said it took every bit of 2 minutes for the snake to get past me and get into the river and like disappear. He said the snake like gets over his arm and he looks at his buddy and he's like, yo, why didn't you help me? And his buddy is just pale faced, scared. He's like, that is the biggest snake I've ever seen in my life. But literally, arms out like this, and his hands didn't touch. So you tell me how big that snake was.
So, given my mathematical calculations, it takes 2 minutes of the anaconda to go over his arm. Dude, that's probably at least 30, 40 feet.
Bro.
Probably bigger.
A dinosaur.
That thing's prehistoric.
Bro. That's like the snake from Harry Potter.
Yeah, dude. But the fact that he had his whole...
And his hands didn't touch. He couldn't get his fingers to touch. Yeah. Granted, like, I mean, in all fairness, he's like 5'8", so his wingspan is probably like 6.
So like this. Okay.
Yeah. But still, that's a big snake. Yeah.
Big fucking snake.
Yeah.
Dude, what the... That's insane.
And two, like, the
It's so
crazy
insane
thing...
to think about.
Bro, to think about, like, boas and, like, that breed of snake that are like a coil snake that, like, wrap you up and eat you.
And strangle you, and then they eat you, yeah.
Bro, do you know how easy it would have been for that snake to be like, yeah, you're dinner? Because his buddy's not getting it off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like, you see people struggle with, like, a 14-foot snake that's this big around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, to think, this snake, he couldn't fit his arms around, they're not getting that snake off of him. If it wrapped him up, that thing eats alligators and, or I guess caiman.
Bang, bang, bang. Gun.
But that's the thing, too. Like, if it wraps you up and you're like, oh, well, I have to kill it, and you shoot it, it's just going to continue to wrap you up. You're going to die.
Literally.
Like, if you kill a snake that has coiled you up, then you're going to die still, but at least you don't get eaten alive. Or
Dude.
at least you don't get eaten, I guess, because you won't be alive by the time you'll suffocate.
Like, I don't fear anything on this planet except, like, God. But, like, dude, snakes, spiders, Them bitches scary as fuck. Actually, unless it's like a house spider. House spiders are alright.
Yeah, spiders
But
aren't that
spider
bad.
The spider that I saw on his face, yeah, fuck them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, spiders not that bad. Snakes, to an extent. Like I don't care to like.
Like if it's
Granted,
like a garden snake, I'm cool with it.
I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm not scared of it. Granted, I still don't want to get bit. You know what I mean? Like even if it's not poisonous. But like I've killed a snake.
Mhm.
But I'm not. You know, I'm not gonna go out freely just. But however, hear me out. When I move out to Florida, we can go hunt snakes in the Everglades. $25 a foot.
Damn.
Just saying.
So if you kill a snake, you gotta measure by the feet, and you have to pay that.
Well,
much.
it's gotta be. I think
no, they give you that.
it's gotta be yeah, like the state. It's gotta be in I think it's a season for it, and it's gotta be like boas. I think python. It's like a. So like the biggest thing about the Everglades right now is basically everything is getting killed because of the invasive species of snakes that's there.
Of course, yeah.
So, it's like $25 a foot for a python, or not, it might be a boa, I don't know. But one of the snakes, $25 a foot, and iguanas are like $14 a tail.
Damn, so that's what every iguana is $14.
Yeah, and iguanas would definitely be the easier route because you could just go out with a 22 and shoot them.
Just ping, ping, ping,
Literally.
ping, 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 ping. But snakes,
I'm not doing that by myself.
hell no. I'm just gonna be. I will be there with you, and then I just see you start coiled, and it's like, Nick, help, help me,
Nick.
help me. I got you.
I was just thinking doing an easy trip and going to hunting snakes. Me,
Oh,
you,
100%.
Eric, Trip,
Dude, that'd be dope. That'd be dope as fuck.
Sleepy.
We have a little competition. Oh wait. What I saw on your story, he was at your wedding. He's in the military.
Daniel.
He's the captain. Daniel. Yeah, he's the captain
Yep,
now, right?
just got his captain wings, brother.
That's insane.
I think
That's
he's
insane.
headed out to Cali here soon. He said that he'll have a couple of weeks of flying, and then he'll basically run stuff down there.
Dude.
But his goal is to fly commercially once he gets out of the military.
Oh, he's a pilot?
Yeah.
What does he fly right now?
So when he started, it was helicopters because they needed people to fill the class. So then he started flying helicopters, and then they're like, "Hey, like we need people to fill this planes course. Do you want to take that?" And he was like, "Well, might as well." So then he did that, and then, well, I think it's something similar to that. But ultimately, he was flying helicopters, then he got it into planes, and then he was flying planes, and where he was at, they like decommissioned a whole bunch of planes, like certain types, and one of them was his. So like, hey, like you have a certain amount of hours, like if you were under this, then you just be cut from flying. Do you want to transition and fly something different? Or he basically was like, you can basically pick where you go, like you can pick anywhere that has flight, then you can go there. So they ended up going to Alabama, and then he's going from Alabama to California. He'll be out there until probably his contract ends with the military, and then he wants to fly commercially. And whenever he does fly commercially, yeah, no, it's sick, bro. Whenever he does fly commercially, I'm gonna go and get on his first flight, wherever he's going.
Good. Take you to Thailand, the Thai lady boys.
No, I'm good on that. It'll be an American, domestic flight for sure. I'm not going out of the States, brother.
You know what I want to go? The one place I want to go out of States, Japan. I would love to go to Japan.
I bet you would, you freak.
Dude, it's not even about that. First off,
Stop lying, Nicholas.
Bro, I've always had an infatuation with food. The Asian food. Japanese.
I never seen two breasts.
I never seen two breasts. Yeah, I got you. Length or girth.
Ramen? You big ramen guy?
Yeah, ramen's good. I
Bro,
like ramen.
whenever you come back, bro, there's a ramen place down here we'll have to hit up.
Oh, in Georgetown?
Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking nice little area.
I'd say somebody told us about it, and I was like, oh, okay, bet. And we haven't been. And I don't know. I don't think Matea's too big into ramen to get into that, but that is my scene. Hook me up. I will scoop the noodles up with my butthole.
Just fucking.
Puts the chopsticks in my butt. Spins around in a circle. That's crazy. I'm sorry, Chet. That's wild. You ever said a sentence and immediately regretted saying it?
That's a clip. That's a fucking.
That's tough. That's real tough. That's real tough.
Fucking. Dude. But, dude, I was also reading up on a lot of, like, I don't know if this is true or not, but there's, like, these visas that you go to, it's like to South Korea, to Japan, and I think there's like one other area, but you go there to have kids because of their declining birth rate.
So Daniel was in South Korea for a while. That's where he was stationed. I think a year. And he said, well, I mean, granted, like he lived on a military base, but he said the food was pretty good down there. And he also, like, this was around the time of the wedding, so like he flew home, and then came almost straight from South Korea almost, but he said that he could have brought me back a fake Rolex because it's like the not black market, but like the fake, I don't know what you would call it, counterfeit is really big in South Korea.
Counterfeit stuff. Mm-hmm.
So that would have been lit.
Dude, honestly.
But yeah, we talked about that too.
I like a Rolex.
I want to say we've had this conversation on stream before, me and Trip and Sleepy, but about like China and their declining birth rates. Yeah.
Yeah, like they were like China was offering like new like young couples like some oddest amount of money to have children or something like that.
Yeah, so I want to say that I definitely remember talking about a general idea. Can't remember the exact layout of what it was, but it ultimately, like, they made restrictions. You can only have a certain number of kids, and then a lot of people. It was up to the the people having children, but it was just like you could only have a set number, and a lot of people wanted boys. So like.
Well, of course.
Right. So like once you get to a certain point and everybody's just having boys, it's like, oh, we don't have any girls.
Yeah.
So y'all either start having sex with your siblings, or I guess your family members, or
there's gonna be a bunch of gay people in China.
Or they got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Dude. Oh man, there was another thing. Fuck. It was about traveling. I'm trying to rack my brain around it.
You're talking about food. Wait, were you saying that you want to go get somebody pregnant in Japan? Is that what you're saying?
No. Like, I'm just saying the option's there. The option's there.
Okay.
But it's like you go there, you have a kid, no responsibility. But then 18 years later, you get a knock on your door. It's this little kid that's it's like, I heard you're my dad. I'm just like.
First of all.
Nope.
If you're having a kid in Asia, he's not gonna come to your door sounding like that.
Yeah.
I heard you're my dad. Why do you sound like Eric?
I do the impression, but I don't want you getting paid.
Wild. What was I gonna say? Oof. I was gonna say something. I can't remember what it was.
What was it about?
This topic.
That's very generic or broad.
No, like this topic that we're talking about right now. I lost it. It's gone. It's Fugazi.
Gone with the wind.
But yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I'm a big food guy too. Matea's, she's improving, but we're not there yet.
She's not a foodie.
So we like going to like hole in the wall places that are like aren't well known and like eating there. Yeah. But like she doesn't eat enough. Like I wouldn't say picky. She'll try things, but certain things like textures and stuff. Like she doesn't like burgers.
Yeah.
Doesn't like ground beef. It's the texture of the burger. She doesn't like it.
The texture?
So like,
I know someone that hates texture, bro.
if
Oh my
Matea's
God.
not with me, I'm getting a burger. And dude, it's a big. It hurts, bro. There's a Five Guys not far from me, and I love Five Guys.
What do you call it? There was a when we went to Skyline when I was down in Georgetown. Trip was always like, dude, you gotta get the conies, man. And then in the middle of the night, I hear him, like going up in that back for the bathroom. And it's like, yo, you good? It's like, yeah, man, these conies are running through me. It's like exactly why I don't get glizzies at a chili joint.
But dude, Skyline bangs. But yeah,
Skyline does.
so like she
bang.
does like going and like experiencing different places, but I wouldn't say she's a foodie. Like there's not, you can't put any food in front of Matea and she'll try it. You know what I mean? But I am that way. Like if you put something in front of me, I might not like it, but I'll at least try it.
Dude.
There's like things that I don't enjoy. Like I'm not a big fish guy.
Really?
I just
Dude, I'll eat anything, honestly, except for that Indian street food that looks like puking.
no, see, like I'll eat it. Like if you give me this, you're like, hey, look, try this. It's really good. I'll try it. Granted, fish or not,
Yeah.
I don't really care. But I'm just not like,
Oh, yeah.
if I go out to eat, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know what sounds good? Fish. I might sometimes, and then usually I'll regret it because I don't like it.
I'm a big sushi guy.
I love sushi. I'm not like a sashimi guy.
Sashimi's gas.
I don't
dude.
like. No, I'm more of a nigari guy. I like rolls.
Like nigari.
I'm not a sashimi. I don't want the sliced fish on top. And
Dude,
something about tuna, bro, it makes me sick to my stomach. I don't know what it is,
Really?
bro. Every time I've had it, I don't like tuna out of a can, and
Well,
I
that's
don't like
understandable.
tuna in sushi, bro. It makes my stomach hurt.
Well, there's like the whole thing, like with bodybuilding, like people use those like sun skirt or whatever packets, those tuna packets that you see in the store. They use those for cutting because it's low calorie but high protein.
Yeah.
Those things are good. I've used some. I've eaten some of them. They're pretty good. I honestly like all fish except for like. No, I like all fish. Yeah. I haven't eaten any fish that's been bad.
So is that something that you're still?
Weird.
Are you still on your fitness journey?
Yeah. Slowly but surely.
Are you
I'm
bulking
I'm
right now?
busy as fuck. Yeah, I'm trying to eat more.
Well, hence the
But
beer.
that's hard. Well,
The beers you're drinking.
yeah, the carbs that are in this, it's like, I don't know how many carbs are in, but it's a lot of carbs. But with eating, it's just so expensive. And like, I got
Well, also, I would say
payments I gotta make.
you're probably not eating the healthiest either if you're trying to just shove stuff in your face.
No. Like there's two different ways you can go about bulking. Like there's clean bulks and there's dirty bulks. Dirty bulk you eat whatever you want, and then you get like you get a result. Clean bulk you eat healthy food, and it makes you look better, because if you go on a dirty bulk, you'll get acne all over your body. You'll look like
Sam Sulek.
you'll look like the dude. Yeah, Sam Sulek. Well, Sam Sulek, he's on steroids.
Yeah, he's on the juice for sure.
He's on Tren, TRT, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Then you got but if you do like a dirty bulk, it's still like you're eating bacon and donuts and all this other stuff, and like bacon is like a huge proprietor to.
Okay, so look, hear me out. Sam Sulek's, people don't like it, but his argument that like a calorie, your caloric intake directly influences if you're gaining or losing weight, and it's based off everybody's body. So granted,
Yes.
if you're eating 250 calories worth of eggs compared to 250 calories of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, that's still 250 calories. So you're not getting the same benefits totally, but like you're
Yeah, you're
still
not getting the
eating 250
nutritional
calories.
value.
Right.
Yeah.
So like that kind of plays into the premise of like a dirty bulk. I get that.
Mhm.
Personally, one of the biggest reasons I don't gain weight, because I'm not as active as I would like to be. Like I do like body work, like body weight stuff, and I try to run. Granted, I need to get back into it because I haven't been able to since I've been down here. But my biggest thing is a caloric deficit. I stay at a caloric deficit. And it's not that I want to, but at the same time, I don't really, honestly, the only reason I eat lunch now is because Matea makes me lunch. Like I don't eat breakfast.
Mhm.
Typically, I start
I'm
with.
trying to get like you, my boy.
I don't eat breakfast. if I do, it's because I'm starving. Like I ate super early the night before, and it's like super low calorie, like something just substance, so I don't get sick. Because I'll be using Zins, and Zins on an empty stomach make you sick. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But I usually eat 2 meals a day, and those 2 meals are not equating for 2,000 something calories. Granted, some days, kind of the same premise of like competitive eaters. You see a competitive eater sit down and eat 15,000 calories. That's not their everyday diet. That's why they're skinny, and like a lot of them are like lean. They're cut is because they eat a certain amount of calories and then prepare for a big meal like that.
Yeah.
But I'm at a big deficit, and I need to get lean again, bro. Honestly, bro, I think there's my go-to, and I tell people this all the time. But if you want to see results and you want to feel good, the best thing I can recommend. I've done a lot of different stuff, tried a lot of different things in the sense of like trying to gain weight, trying to like lean, like get more lean. The best I've ever felt is on the animal diet, and it's not expensive. It can be if you make it, but it's not expensive. It will be more expensive now than it was when I did it the first time, just because eggs were so expensive. But you can get a like a 10-pound tube of ground beef for
Sam's Club. Yep.
$10. You know what I mean? And I was making burger patties with cheese and eggs every day, all protein and fats, and then I was doing fruit.
Carbs.
Now the fruits,
Yep,
depending on the fruit, it could get expensive. If you're doing a lot of berries, that's something about berries are expensive. But like bananas, cheap. And the best part about it is, if you were to go on a normal grocery trip, right, and you're like, oh, I want some Doritos, I want some like candy, I want this, and then I'm gonna get some fruit. Your fruit's gonna go bad before you eat all of it.
Oh, 100%.
Especially with them putting like the ripening agents on them to make them more ripe. However,
Chemicals. Bleh.
on the animal diet, I found that I didn't waste any food. I ate every bit of stuff that I bought, I ate because that's all I was eating. So like typically if I get ground beef and I get more than I eat, I'll put it in the freezer, and then it goes bad in the freezer because I don't have the opportunity to eat a burger because Mateo doesn't eat them.
Yeah.
So when I was on the animal diet and I was buying eggs by the carton and ground beef, all of it was getting eaten, and then all the fruit that I was eating too. It's like now I love mangoes, right? But mangoes aren't as sweet as Sour Patch Kids. So if I have Sour Patch Kids, I'm gonna eat Sour Patch Kids over mangoes, right? And a mango I'll have in my fridge, and then I'll forget about it because I'm eating, whatever it may be, and then I'm like, oh, this mango's bad.
Yeah. There's also leads into body type, like how Sam Sulek was saying, like how your body is. There's 3 different body types: ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph. Ectomorph is what me and you are. We're tall, we're lean, we don't gain a lot of weight, we have a high metabolism, because a lot of things that you eat, you don't really gain weight from it. It gets burned, and it goes to your ass, right?
I don't have that issue.
I don't know. Well, I do. You know. Yeah. Hold on, I got you. Fucking
My boy Nick is caked up, boy.
Cheesecake. And so that's ectomorph. You don't gain, you have trouble gaining muscle or weight, so you have to eat more. Mesomorph, you're like a short, stocky guy, which is what Sam Sulek is. He's short.
Cute.
My sister's 5'10". She towers over Sam Sulek. My sister works out at the same gym that Sam Sulek does.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Works out at the same gym that he does. They work at a Metro.
In Ohio?
It's called Metro in Columbus. Yeah, Metro Fitness. Like he bounces to different gyms, but Metro is his main gym.
Okay. The more you know.
And
she's met him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she met him. She's talked to him. Then he's like, oh, I don't even know how tall he is, but my sister towers over him, and my sister's boyfriend's like 6'6", and he's just big, fucking brolic dude.
Dude, I mean it's.
And like, but he's a mesomorph. He has an easy time gaining weight and muscle, but it's more stocky, big muscle instead of like lean muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much cute. And then there's endomorph, which is like a little bit of in between, where you got the leanness, but you also got the stockiness. You kind of like that's around like my sister's height, like 5'10" ish. Like that's when you get like the endomorph area, and Sam's like 5'6" ish, 5'6", 5'7", something like that. Stands there, big, running out of breath, taking off his shirt, like all that stuff. Chocolate milk, though. The one thing I really like about Sam Sulek, bro, chocolate milk.
What do you mean? Bro, listen.
That is a game changer.
Listen. Well, two, it helps with recovery. I didn't know if you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Lactic
acid, baby.
Bro, listen. I bought Nesquik powder for the first time in years. Dude. Heat.
Dude,
I've been using syrup.
You know what's good?
I've been using Hershey syrup.
Yeah, dude, did you mix it with the milk?
Yeah. I've been using Hershey syrup, but Nesquik, bro, is a game changer, bro. Mm-hmm. And it lasts you so much longer.
You know what you gotta get? You gotta get that True Moo.
See, I don't drink chocolate milk enough to just have a gallon. It's gonna go bad before I drink it all. One thing I am hard driven on this, and I think it got ruined when I went on the animal diet, but I'm not opposed to it at all. There's two things that I will exclusively buy for the rest of my life: pasture-raised eggs.
Yep.
And organic grass-fed whole milk.
I buy whole milk, but I don't buy that organic grass-fed
Bro,
stuff.
organic grass-fed whole milk is so. The only thing that I've had better than that is there's a company out of Kentucky. Close second. It's out of Kentucky, but it's like a cream top milk. And it's like super thick. Like it's like cream introduced into milk. And like it's like ultra pasteurized instead of, I don't know the difference in the pasture or whatever, but the organic whole milk that I get is fairly cheap. It's like it really, I mean, I don't see a difference when I'm paying for it instead of like the 2% that we buy Eevee. Yeah. But dude, it's so good. I like a thick milk. I like my milk to be thick. I don't like watery milk.
Pause.
No, play. People who drink skim milk are sickening, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. Whoever drinks skim milk needs a slap.
What do you like, water? That'd be equivalent if you had a little bit of milk and you didn't have enough to fill a bowl of cereal, so you added water to it. That's what skim milk is.
I wonder if that's how they made it. They're just like, man, I'm out of 2%. But my bowl's not full.
No, that's exactly what they really had. You have milk, so like the percentage of fats. Like somebody did the numbers of like percentage of fats in milk, and it was like crazy. Like it's like the number of like actual fat percentage is crazy, but it's just like reduced from that number. But anyways, ultimately, if you really think about what it means to take the fat out of milk, you're basically taking majority of the nutrients out of the milk, and you're just left with water.
Yeah.
So like 1%, like a skim milk is, I'd say probably closer to 70-80% water. Dude. And I didn't know, but apparently oat milk is heavily used in the bodybuilding community because it's got like so many calories in it.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found that out. I watch. You ever watched Will Tennyson?
The real question is, how do you milk an oat? You know, there's no tit.
Do you watch Will Tennyson?
Who?
Will Tennyson.
Sounds familiar.
I love Will Tennyson. He's Canadian. That's the only thing I don't like about him.
I'm looking this up. I know who you're talking about.
Just kidding, Will. I love you.
Tennyson. Will Tenny. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I really like him. His content's funny.
Yeah,
bro, if you don't watch him, you need to, bro. It's right up our line of everything is like a sexual innuendo. Like it's like so like he has a running thing since his channel got created about how he wakes up to a grapefruit. Yeah. But that dude's hilarious.
I mean, he does have his wife on a fucking on his pin.
Dude,
So,
he's,
yeah,
he's
when he-
hilarious. He's hilarious.
Oh my god.
And then like supplementing Greek yogurt for sour cream is another one.
Dude, you know who I don't really understand, or I can't really stand? It's vegan bodybuilders.
Brother. Okay.
Or just vegan.
Okay. So here, this
You
is
know what I mean?
this is how I got into the animal carnivore lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
I found this doctor. He's a psychiatrist. Hold on, let me snooze this. We're gonna snooze that so that chat can be present. So he's a psychiatrist, right? Well, when you go through doctor school, it's basically like how you fix certain things, right? We found out that a lot of the ways they fix certain illnesses and stuff is just through medicine, right? It's just like, here, take these pills, you'll feel better, whatever. So then he's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what if it's somebody's eating certain foods that are messing with their system, right? And it's not something they're teaching. So then he starts, once he gets his doctorate, he goes back and he's like starting to research it. And he comes to find that, like, granted, some people can eat certain foods and they're fine. Like, you see that with milk, right? Yeah. Every food messes up my stomach, right? But, like, some people, it's exclusively dairy products.
Yeah. Lactose intolerance.
Right.
Couldn't be me.
So, I think his delivery a lot of the time is like what turns people off to what he's saying. But like, there's a lot of things that make sense that he says. So like, his biggest thing is like he's anti-vegetable because, okay, so let me preface this with the question, right? So like, why do plants grow fruit? Like in nature.
In nature, the genes, like the genetic breakdown.
Yes. So a little bit. So the genes sense of like a apple tree thrives on, let me make this fruit so that instead of eating my plants, my stems, my roots, animals and humans will eat this fruit instead of what I need to continue to live and to make other me's, okay? So, that's the case with fruits, right? That's why fruits have seeds, okay? Now, for vegetables, that's not the case, right?
That's why tomatoes are fruit.
Bingo. But if you were to, like, say broccoli, right? You plant broccoli, it grows, you pull up the whole broccoli plant, you have to plant a new one.
Yeah.
Okay? So, his theory is that, well, it's not a theory, it's like proven, but there's chemicals inside vegetables that are defense mechanisms that is basically genetically wired for this plant so that they can continue to thrive. So like, say like, let's take kale for example, right? Kale has a defense chemical in it that if an animal eats it, the animal is going to have some adverse side effect and be like, I don't like kale, I'm not going to eat that again, right? Now, in humans, the way that kale shows up is it builds up in your body, and your body can only process so much of it at a time. And when your body can't process it, it's stored in your muscles, and it shows up as soreness. So it's like similar to like lactic acid, right? Where you get lactic acid build up your sore.
Yeah.
So it's actually really interesting. But kale, typically, who do you see eat kale, right? People that are physically active.
Yeah.
Okay, so people who are physically active are eating abundance of kale, like in smoothies and salads and whatever. And they're like, oh, like, dude, I'm sore. Like, that workout was crazy. In reality, I'm sure that they had a great workout, but the reason why they're so sore is because that defense chemical is stored in their muscles because their body can't process it all at the same time.
That's crazy.
So a lot of vegetables have those defense chemicals in them, but the adverse is liver. Like, if you were to live a carnivore diet and completely cut out vegetables and you ate organs as well, you would get all the nutrients that you would get from vegetables in more abundance. So, like, liver is the most nutrient-dense food you can eat. It's not good. It tastes like garbage.
But it's
good for you. So, like, I got on I couldn't do I tried it. Granted, it wasn't fresh, like it was like
Liver
frozen.
King.
I couldn't do it. It tastes like mothballs. But you could take like supplements that are like beef liver or whatever, and that's how people thrive off. Because there's people that just eat meat and they live long, healthy lives, and it's like, well, like you're healthy, you're active. My theory is if you're consuming a lot of saturated fat, again, depends. Don't take my word for it. Take my word for it. Whatever. It depends on the person. One, not every, like kind of what you said. Like everybody's kind of a different morph in the sense of like body type and the way their body processes food. However, if you are eating saturated fat as the only source of fat, then it's not as unhealthy as it's portrayed by big food industries. Like if you're eating a boatload of saturated fats and butter and red meat and beef and then you're eating Twinkies and you're dipping butter in mayonnaise or butter in whatever. Like there's a girl that does that. That's saturated. Bro, yeah. Like there's a girl who literally like freezes butter and dips it in different stuff and eats it like a stick of butter.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but
Bro.
that saturated fat is. There's going to be more of a health concern because you're mixing saturated fats with other saturated fats and other things that are bad for you. But in reality, if you're only eating saturated fats from your meals, but you're also physically active and you're taking care of yourself, then you shouldn't have any problems, hypothetically, with saturated fats. But again, it comes down to people's body types and how their body processes certain things.
Yeah, but the reason... So... I also found some interesting about like vegans that just eat the like plants and shit like that. So I read on it was like this Farmer's Digest. I don't know what it was. It was like a news source, but a lot of like the organic plants that are like grown and like labeled as organic, and people like, oh yeah, I'm gonna eat this because it's organic, right? All of that, like those vegetables and pretty much every vegetable that's made is grown in a shrimp meal, which they use shrimp, grind it up, and mix it with the fertilizer to increase growth and quality of the plant. So in reality, no one's really a vegan because they're eating something that's off of a byproduct of an animal.
Well, yes, but I feel like that's certain things too. But like even the concept of like people that are vegan to like conserve nature, that doesn't make any sense, because if you talk to a farmer who grows like soybeans or chickpeas, like they have to kill everything dies on that type of farm. Everything dies. Like they have to like spray insecticides, and then like any mole, any rabbit, anything that comes on the farm gets killed because they're like that crop is so like what's the word, like dependent on like a perfect like it's so, I can't think of the word. Like, it has to be so pristine to get a good product out of it that they have to just kill everything. So it's like, you could care about animals eating them, but, like, you don't care about the ones getting slaughtered so that you can have your chickpeas and your soybeans.
Yeah. It's like, you care about nature and you want to, like, protect animals, but at the same time, these animals are dying for your soybeans.
Right.
That's like, it makes no sense. And then they tell us to watch the Dominion, whatever it is, where it's showing like cows being slaughtered and pigs being slaughtered in like a slaughterhouse. I'm just like, I watched that video. I'm just like, it probably tasted pretty good.
Well, like, I get the concept, like, ultimately it comes down to this, right? What is your line of, like, ultimately it comes down to, just because you believe something doesn't mean everybody needs to.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
So you don't eat beef?
I don't expect people to believe what I want to believe about like killing animals and eating them, or like eating vegetables.
Right.
You can do whatever you want. That's just not me.
Right. Now, granted, the big industries that push out beef and push out chicken, they're not going to change in the sense of like they're going to stop. They can't stop putting out product, right?
No, they're not. They'll run out of business.
And well, I mean, the society wouldn't be able to function.
No.
And then on top of that, ultimately it comes down to you. If you believe that, cool, by all means, do your thing. But personally, I like, there's things I don't like about, like, am I not going to go to Popeyes and eat chicken? No, I'm going to go to Popeyes and eat chicken. But at the same time, if I have a choice,
Before we started this, I had a Popeyes chicken sandwich. A
yeah,
spicy one.
I had a 4-piece today, brother. So I'm right there with you. But if I have a choice, now I have a better choice and selection of what I buy. A lot of my stuff is pasture raised chicken. It's chickens that are going out and like foraging and eating worms or whatever it may be. They have more protein, and I'm looking more grass fed, grass finished beef just because they're getting an abundance of nutrients. They're not getting fattened up with corn before they get slaughtered.
Yeah.
And granted, the way that the slaughterhouses work, they've made innovations to make the animal less stressed before they die. But at the same time, it's one thing. Like say, like you look at like a small farm, right? Like Eric, Spice owns cattle, right? When it's time for them to kill a cattle to eat, they take it into a trailer, they shoot it in his head, right? Done. That's easy to do when it's a small self-sustaining farm, right? But you're not going to have that in a factory setting. Like there's no way to do that and push out. Like that's going to just hold up production.
Yeah, literally.
So like ultimately the fastest way to do it is just send them down this conveyor belt and put a whole bunch of twists and turns so that they can't see what's in front of them. You know what I mean?
Less stress, and then they're just like, oh, now I'm done.
Right. I mean, and going off like the Christian values of things, like God gave us these animals to eat.
Dominion over the animals, yep. He gave us dominion over all things living in the world. Whether that be protecting them or whether that be eating them.
Right. And two, like, there's a fine line between killing an animal to eat and torturing an animal. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, yeah. 100%. Like, there's so many things I see on Instagram where people are like torturing like these animals before they're dead. Like, have you seen like the little markets that people have where they're selling dogs, like tied up, like their hands and feet are
Oh,
tied up?
yeah.
They're selling dogs to people so that they can eat them.
Yeah.
That's just torture.
Yeah. But very different.
Very different, yeah. But there's this guy that I watched. He bought all the dogs and then like set them free, or like he took them and then brought them to like a shelter so they could live lives
Right.
instead of being eaten. That's another thing. If I go to Japan and there's a dog meat in my food, I'm a crash out.
You wouldn't know.
Crash out. Oh, yeah.
Also, from what I've heard, it's more common in like more third world countries.
Yeah.
Like Bangladesh.
Bangladesh is huge on that. Yep.
What's the one? Somebody went there on a stream and he was eating dog. Vietnamese.
Vietnam.
But the guy was like, it's a Vietnamese delicacy. So he's like eating. He's like, it's pretty good. What is it? And he's like, you want to know for real? And he's like, what am I eating? And the guy's like, it's dog. And he like crashes out.
I couldn't. If I found myself eating a dog, I'd probably.
Well,
I would just crash out. I'd start fighting everybody.
Well, you just don't put yourself in a position to eat a dog.
Exactly.
That's the best case scenario. I'll stay in America and I'll eat beef and chicken.
I'll eat my GMO chicken and Popeye's chicken sandwich.
I got all beef hot dogs that are uncured. I bet they're fire, bro.
Uncured?
Yeah.
Dude, that's fire.
But yeah, I honestly, I'm a big carnivore person, and like Matea, with Matea's health issues, like I know that our diets won't perfectly align because we're just so different. You know what I mean? And like Matea's not giving up potatoes, although I think it would benefit her to cut carbs out, and go completely animal. Ultimately, I don't see it happening.
Dude. You want to know something stupid I heard someone say? There was someone that was saying that I don't know if it's just a knowledge thing, or it's stupid to me, but people think that there's no carbs in fruit.
No, there is.
There is. It's simple carbs. It's
Yeah.
sugar.
Yeah, that's honestly the only reason that I got through the animal diet, because the animal diet is different from carnivore because you add fruits. I see there's actually a big carnivore community on TikTok, and they use it as like a palate cleanse. So like they'll go carnivore for a certain amount of time, and then they'll start to add foods back in after, like, I think the dude did it for a year, but he did it for a year, and then he starts implementing foods back in, and he figures out what fruits and vegetables his body is like fine with. Like, he'll eat them, and then he'll take it today and be like, okay, I feel bad, I'm not gonna eat those again. But then he said that helped with like his sweetness, like he was like big into sweets, and he went complete carnivore, like got rid of all sugars. Mm-hmm. And the first thing he tried that was outside of the carnivore lifestyle was honey. He was like, bro, I've never been a honey guy.
Dude, honey.
Dude, I love
so
honey.
Good for you.
Dude, I love honey.
You know they use honey for cuts?
Yeah.
It has healing properties.
So there is a different. So if you see like pure honey, if it says organic clover honey, then it's not. It doesn't have anything. It has stuff that you shouldn't be consuming, like pesticides and stuff. Yeah. Pure honey means that the hives that they harvested the honey from are in a certain radius away from any pesticides used. So pure honeys are out to go.
Yeah. That's all I get is pure honey.
I use a organic pure honey. Matt got Mad Honey. Have you seen that stuff?
What honey?
Mad
Honey?
Yeah.
What is Mad Honey?
So it's like the region of Himalayas. Mm-hmm. It's bees from that region, and it's like a byproduct from a plant that they like pollinate on, and it basically is like I'm gonna have to Google it so I don't tell you something wrong, but it's basically like equivalent to like a psychedelic, not a psychedelic, but like weed essentially. Like it's like calming.
Okay.
But Matt got some of that. It's like super small because it's expensive.
$120?
Yeah. So like real Mad Honey is $40 for like a little jar.
Yeah.
Mad honey from Nepal is wild honey extracted from the Himalayan mountains. To ensure the quality of our honey, it's harvested at a minimum of 3,500 meters. The Nepalian honey is stronger than the Turkish Mad Honey, and of course, it's 100% natural, unprocessed, unfiltered, and without additives.
Damn. That's insane.
But what is the... Mad honey contains... How do you say this? Hold on. Is there a way to speak this? Nope. Inspect. Copy. Another tab. I'll do it the most difficult way possible. Paste. Granotoxins. Okay. Mad honey contains granotoxins, a group of neurotoxins found in the nectar and pollen of certain species of rhododendron plants. These toxins are not formally presented in regular honey, but they can be ingested with bees collect nectar from granotoxin-contained plants. Mad honey is most commonly produced in the regions of the Black Sea region of Turkey and Nepal.
On Wikipedia, the granulotoxins are a group of closely related neurotoxins to the scientific word I'm not going to pronounce. A plant, it's like, no, I'm actually going to, it's like Leucothoe grayana. It's a plant native to Japan.
Hmm.
And named for 19th century American botanist Asa Gray. It is also known as an Andromeda toxin, acetyladra, I don't know, I'm not pronouncing that, rhodotoxin, and acebotoxin. But yeah, it goes around, yeah, Turkey, Nepal, recreational drugs, and traditional medicine.
Gradiotoxins cause a range of effects, including dizziness, nausea, and slowed heart rate.
So yeah, weed.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, he got some of that. I haven't tried it, but Mateo did. He like gets it. He's like,
How'd you feel after
he's
that?
like, be careful. And then it was just a little bit. She just dipped her finger. She doesn't like honey. And then Matt like licked the top of the lid, and I was like, oh, sayonara, buddy. But yeah, honey. Let me put you on really quick. You get a mango, okay? You know how to test if a mango is good or not?
It's not like watermelons where you tap on it, it's like hollow.
No, so it's like it's almost the opposite of what you would want an apple to feel like if you picked it up. Like you want it to be a little squishy. You don't want it to have any blemishes, okay? It's kind of like an avocado in the sense of like there's a little bead on the back. If you peel it off, it's probably ripe. Like you could eat it. But if it's starting to get soft, that's when you want to eat it. It's like it's soft to the touch, but it's not mushy. If you get what I'm saying. You get one of those, right? You cut it. It's not half because there's a pit in it, but like a little past half on both sides.
Yeah.
You cut slices on it straight, then you turn it and cut it slices the other way, and then you peel the skin back, and it'll like look like a mango that you see, like artificial mango, like on like for flavored packaging. You cut those off, you'll have little cubes of mango. Okay. You take some honey. You drizzle a generous amount of honey on it. Okay. You put that in the freezer. Come back in like 20, 30 minutes. Mango is one fruit that is completely different in the sense of consistency. You freeze a strawberry, you freeze a banana, it gets hard. Mangoes get creamy like ice cream. So when I was on an animal diet, that's what I did. I'd slice up bananas and mangoes, put honey on them, and I put them in the freezer. Dude, it was like sherbet, dude. It rocks. You have to try it.
God damn.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love sherbet. Oh my
also,
God.
one thing too that I wanted to talk about when it comes to dieting and stuff. I think one thing that is killing us all slowly that nobody really takes into consideration because it's talked about being healthy for you, because it's a healthy alternative to saturated fats, is seed oils.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know why. Yeah, so seed oils are probably the worst oil that you could ever put in your body.
I agree with that.
The only oil, quote unquote, that's not really oil, it's like a fat, beef tallow. The healthiest form of oil.
That's saturated fat. That's what beef tallow is.
Yeah.
But
Like
I
that's the
rock,
healthiest form.
bro. I rock with beef tallow. But this is my This is my consensus, and this is where it's interesting. So like McDonald's, when they started, they used beef tallow in the fryers. Okay.
Yep. Outback Steakhouse did beef tallow in their fryers.
Bro, a guy ate McDonald's every day, and he got cancer, and he blamed it on the beef tallow. So they stopped using beef tallow and they switched to vegetable oil.
Oh my God. What type of cancer did he get?
I have no clue. But that's like the story, how the story goes and why McDonald's got away from beef tallow in their fryers. Do you know what canola oil's original purpose was?
Wasn't it for like... It wasn't for vehicles, was it? It was like... Or something like that? Something like manufacturer-based?
Yeah. So during World War II, I believe. World War II. What is Pearl Harbor? That's
World War II, yeah.
Yeah, so World War II, they are using a significant amount of canola oil for machinery on military ships. So, a German engineer, like the government's like, hey, we need more canola seeds. Like, we need more canola oil. So they plant these farms with canola seeds to make canola oil. War ends. Well, what are they going to do with this canola oil? And I believe
Tell
it
it
was,
to the public.
I believe, granted, don't like fact check me on this, but I believe it was a German scientist that basically found a way to manipulate the molecules of canola oil to make it consumable by humans. And now it is used heavily as a cooking oil. And that's what they're telling us we should be consuming instead of animal fat?
Beef tallow? Yeah, no.
I don't think so, brother. Also, avocado oil at a certain temperature can cause cancer.
Yep.
Vegetable oil is just trash, bro. Peanut oil, trash. So when I did animal diet, I will say, which granted, I would like to get back on it, but I don't want to do it by myself. So if you would be willing to do it, we can work something out. We can get on the animal diet together. But
we can get on that. Yeah,
especially with us being similar body types, I'd like to see like progress in how well we
intake everything.
right. But where was I going with that? Animal diet. Oh, so like 4 days into the animal diet, I lost 10 pounds. I didn't have 10 pounds to lose, but I lost 10 pounds. Granted, it was a two-part. So Paul Salamino is the doctor that I was telling you about earlier. He created a calculator for like intake of protein, of fats, and carbs and organs. Right? There's a calculator, so you can go in, you can put your weight in, like your goal weight, and then it'll tell you how much you need to consume. Well, when I did that, it didn't account for me being less than the weight that I was trying to reach. It accounted for me to be more than. So, like, it was probably thinking I'm like 250 because my goal weight was 180, right? So I'm eating small portions, and within 4 days, I'd lost 10 pounds.
Damn.
And this is like minimum exercise. Like, I'm not like it's not crazy workouts that I'm doing.
They're just doing body weight shit.
Right. So I upped it. Granted, felt better. Best I've ever felt. I literally felt like a Viking. Like I just wanted to do two things: was have sex and kill things. So,
doesn't every man want to do that? That sounds like the life.
Big ups. But I will say,
ups,
I'd say like 2 weeks in, like on the start of the second week, but I started getting like withdrawal or like withdrawals, like side effects, like things that you would equate to withdrawals, like cold sweats and like just felt bad. That lasted 2 days, and it basically was just my body getting rid of all the like being deprived of all the things that I'd been eating for 20-some years. And then after that, bro, I was great. And then the kicker was I go out, we go to barbecue, right? And I get, brisket, whatever it may be.
Gotta love a brisket.
Well, I got something, and it was pre-mixed with barbecue sauce, right? So I look at the barbecue sauce, and the barbecue sauce they use is like high fructose corn syrup, like all the stuff that I basically had given up, right? I eat it, and I know, like I'm cooked, bro. I'm gonna feel like trash. Sure enough, felt like trash. Felt sick. And this is like 3 weeks on the diet, bro. Like after I had kicked all this stuff out of my system, like after it's long gone, and me just adding it back after that time frame, like I was already sick to my stomach off eating anything that wasn't animal diet. And then of course we go to Vegas, and then it was kind of just up from there.
Oh, this was before we went to Vegas?
So I did it for the wedding. Like I was trying to get real lean before the wedding.
Oh.
So I did it the month of May. So
and we went July.
Yeah, I ended it like June. No, June.
Oh, it was June, yeah.
So like I stopped animal like June 2nd, June 3rd. Because I knew that once I started eating like trash again, it was going to affect me. So like 3rd, 4th, I probably had some crazy McDonald's or something. And then, sure enough, felt like trash. But then after my body got used to it, then I was just back to normal, like it was no different. I will say there's a limited. The hardest part about eating animal is if you're on the go, like you're trying to find something fast, because there's very limited places you can go and get food that you can eat from a fast food restaurant. So like the kicker, you go beef for sure. That's the easiest route. Everybody that I know of that does this diet says that uh, staying away from chicken and pork is the best bet. Granted, like I had bacon, but you gotta think if you're eating an animal, you're eating whatever they ate. So like to go grass fed, grass finished beef is top, and then if you can find pasture raised chicken that's only like organic, like they only eat whatever is available in their environment. That's a good route to go. But like pigs eat everything. Like you never see like you never see a free range pig. Like that's not a thing. That's just wild boar, bro. Venison's really big.
You know what's really good? Bison.
I did have some bison when I was on that diet. But I tend to just stay away. Like it was mostly red meat. Like I did a lot of beef when I was on the diet.
Yeah.
Beef and eggs, bro. And I got through. Granted, the biggest thing was eating the same thing over and over again. Like I love a burger.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like you just got Spice saying I love hot dogs, Glizzy.
This guy. But that's the thing too. Like certain places you can find things that are like the same thing you've been eating, just in a different form. So like, I found all beef hot dogs, grass fed, uncured, like that I can eat on an animal diet, and I can eat a hot dog, like no bun, and glizzy no bun.
Damn, bro, are you like that dude that he's like, ain't nothing.
Yeah, but I will say, so McDonald's, you can go to McDonald's, and you can get only a quarter pounder.
Yeah, because it's real meat. It's real beef.
Right. But you get a quarter pounder. I don't know what it is, bro, about getting a quarter pounder from McDonald's without the bun, but it's so much better, bro. I was burning them up when I was on summer crew. I'd go get a quarter pounder with no bun and pickles and cheese, and dude, it hits so hard. And Five Guys is another one that you can go, and they use beef tallow instead of vegetable oil.
Yep.
And you can get a burger. I wouldn't get a hot dog because I don't think they're all beef hot dogs, but you can get burger patties.
Burger patties, no bun.
And you can get bacon and cheese. Ooh. So there's a way to do it. You just have to be really like consistent, literally. And that's why like I've tried to do it with people, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I could have this, right?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Oh well, I just ate it." So I'm like, "All right, cool." Like I tell this guy like he's like trying to get recovery and stuff, and I tell him Ryan Livers.
Yeah.
When he did something, he tore his ACL or something, and he was trying to recover fast. And I was like, bro, you just need to like really monitor what you're putting in your body. I was like, you should think about going animal. I was like, you can do it cheap and effective. And he's like, all right, cool. So then I give him the whole rundown. He's like, all right, bet I'm gonna start. And then I was like, how's your diet going? Like 3 days in, and he's like, are you doing it too? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, day 3. We did it at the same time the first time. So like I did it in May, and he was supposed to be doing it to help with recovery, and it's like day 3, and he's like, bro, I had like 3 bags of hot Cheetos today, and I'm like, okay, all right, so you're not doing the diet.
That's crazy. So I can't drink this on an animal diet?
So when it comes to beverages on animal, it's water or juice or milk.
No beer?
No beer.
But yeah, what about milk?
Yeah, I said milk.
No, oh, okay, I didn't hear milk.
Yeah. So any animal product or animal byproduct, so dairy.
But what type of juice though? Because there's a lot of like added sugar juice.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. My go-to, I'm a big orange juice guy. I'm not too big on apple.
Yeah, same.
But the only orange juice you're gonna find that's not from concentrate is gonna be like Simply. honestly, Simply has a line, like they have like the Simply lemonade, the Simply limeade, like all that is just the fruit.
Yeah.
So like I went Simply. I'm a big Simply guy. Um, and then of course like you can find like Walmart has like um, the biggest thing when you're on the diet if you're looking for beverages is just like look to make sure it says not from concentrate, and then you look at the label. Like it is big to look at macros and micros. If it's
Like
saying
not from concentrate.
right, because like
Yeah, because that's just watered down, isn't it?
well no, it's like basically made into a sugar that they didn't add water to.
Oh.
Uh, so like I have a juicer now, so that's probably a route I would go, and just getting like 5 pounds of apples and making apple juice. And I know that it's only apples because I juiced it. You know what I mean? There is, I will say, I'll share you some stuff. So like once you get into the wave, then you find recipes of things that you can have. So like people make recipes. They make like Cheez-Its that are animal diet friendly because it's just cheese and you heat it up and it turns into a cracker. And then
That's insane.
there's like just so many recipes that you're like, oh, really, this sounds so good, and then it's like, well, I can't have it because it's not animal, and then you find a recipe for it, you're like, clutch. I found are you a big like soda guy? Like you like sodas?
Yeah.
So I saw today, again, because I'm on an animal diet fads, there's a way to make soda 100% naturally, and it's just by fermenting apples. So
With
like
apples?
you take apples and you like cut them into quarters, like big quarter chunks, and you
Yeah.
put them in water, like in a mason jar, and you put a piece of parchment paper at the top to where they're all submerged. And every day,
Like on top of the water.
yeah, the parchment paper on top of the water to like keep the apples under the water.
Yeah.
And then every day, you crack the mason jar to like let the gas out. And within like I have a video that I can send you, but like at a certain point, it'll just be like bubbly, like a mineral water, like a spring, like a carbonated water.
Yeah, because I drink a lot of Coke.
Yeah. So then you take that and you put that into like a serving glass, like you could get like one of those twist top bottles or whatever that you could break a seal on, and you add like real fruit juice, like grape. You could do honestly any juice. You could do like an apple soda. You could do a grape soda, but you add that juice to it, and then every day you crack that bottle so that the bottle doesn't explode, and then you have a 100% natural soda that is just as good, if not better, than whatever soda of choice you have.
But so my question, so like so no snacks, right? No snacks. What about gum? Because
Absolutely
I've been
not.
trying to
Bro,
because I've been trying to kick this.
I got
and
something you can suck on. Crazy. Anyways.
Yo, wait, what do you say? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
You got to
What do you
get.
mean by that?
You got to get off of the Zen. You got to get on the Zen wave, bro.
Dude, I don't know because I've been just trying to quit nicotine like entirely.
I get that.
Because it's like
So-
it's either I get throat and lung cancer or I get mouth cancer.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the interesting thought of that is mouth cancer derived from tobacco products, right? Not from nicotine. So nicotine has studies that show that they are cognitive boosters and they're beneficial. But the biggest kicker in the past was that all that nicotine can be derived from is tobacco-based products, which cause cancer. That's why.
But Zins are not nicotine or not
That's
tobacco-based
why
products.
if you look at a Zin can compared to like say a Grizzly Wintergreen can, Grizzly Wintergreen will say like this contains tobacco. Tobacco has been traced to cause cancer, right? On a Zin can, it says this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. It doesn't say anything about cancer.
Damn.
Now, granted, in the future, is that a possibility that they say, oh, something in Zins cause mouth cancer? Yeah, a possibility. But I know that based off of scientific studies that nicotine helps cognitive ability. That's why I use them. that's a risk I'm willing to take. Essentially, I know that it's not tobacco. I'm not, smoking cigs or
Yeah.
packing fat lips every day, but they help me function. That's why I use them. But I will say too that comes a lot with the diet. Is when I was on animal, I found myself less reliant on nicotine products because of my you're not foggy. You have a lot of mental clarity. I think the biggest thing that the diet showed me was that when you wake up and you're like groggy, like it takes you a while to like get going in the mornings. That wasn't a thing on animal diet, bro. You wake up and you're ready for the day. Like there's no grogginess. It's not like a grace period. It doesn't matter if I slept 3 hours or if I slept 12. Like I woke up ready to start the day. And then one thing that people they're like, oh well, yeah, I don't want to starve myself. We got to think. If you're eating a abundance of nutrient dense foods compared to a whole bunch of foods that have fillers in them, your meals are going to be more calorically dense in the sense of like I'm going to eat and I'm not going to be hungry until it's time to eat again. So like that's one thing for me when I'm on animal diet. I eat, which looks like not like a lot, you know what I mean? Like it looks like a very small portion. I was doing like 2 quarter-pound burgers with eggs and cheese, and then like a bowl of fruit and yogurt, right? So like that's not a huge meal, but like I ate it. I was like content, like I wasn't miserably full and I wasn't starving. And then I went and did my day, and then by the time it was time to eat again, I'm like, oh okay, I'm starting to get hungry. Like I can eat.
What about like potatoes?
Nope, it's starch.
So breakfast would be like bacon, eggs.
Yeah,
Fruit.
yeah. I honestly I was doing like scrambled eggs. So like that's the one thing too that's cool about eggs is like you can eat them different ways to like switch it up. But I do like scrambled eggs and bacon for breakfast. Bowl of Greek yogurt with fruit and honey. Orange juice. Lunch typically burger patties, cheese, bacon, pickles, however crazy you want to go. Yogurt, fruit. Typically like a juice or like a carbonated water.
Like a LaCroix.
Yeah, that honestly kicked my soda urge when I was on the diet. It's like it was difficult to not have any flavor. I don't know if you've had them. Waterloos are really good. And
Waterloos are pretty good, yeah.
there's another one. It's called. I'll have
Liquid Death.
Well, yeah, I'm a big Liquid Death guy, but there's one that I found. It's a carbonated water, and it was really good. But the biggest thing is making sure that they don't like have aspartame in them, like they're not.
Yep.
So like a lot of times
The artificial sweeteners
right.
and shit like that.
Just carbonated water, like natural flavoring. I know they have the brand at Spindrift. That's what it's called, Spindrift. So Spindrift is carbonated water with natural fruit juices, and they have like a raspberry limeade. They got crazy flavors, but they're all fire.
But yeah, I do the edible diet with you. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, brother. And then so you asked about snacks. That was the thing for me. I'm a snack guy, bro. And it doesn't matter if it's like midday or if it's late. You will find yourself being less hungry if you're eating a significant, like the amount that you should be eating. And granted, I think it's based off weight and stuff, so we can calculate that. But cheese sticks, like a good string cheese, mozzarella, Kobe Jack. Again, go and make sure there's not like added sugars, like it's just cheese, like natural.
I fuck with a good Kobe Jack cheese.
Beef jerky got me through. So I was going to like Tractor Supply and getting like big bags of beef jerky. I'm fruit, of course. There is, so like people make, again, go off these recipes. There's a recipe that I have for fruit roll-ups that are 100% natural and they fit the animal diet. So like you grind up strawberries or blueberries or whatever berry you want. You mix in some honey. You put them on a parchment paper and let them sit.
Like pure honey.
Yeah, and you let them sit, and then you cut them into slices and you roll them up. and then you have fruit by the foots that are literally 2 ingredients: honey and fruit.
You don't freeze them, do you?
No,
Just let 'em sit?
I think you like blend up the berries and the honey. You put them on parchment sheet like real thin. You put them in the oven at like lowest setting for like 10, 15 minutes. And then when you pull it out, it's like a leather almost. And then you cut, once it cools, you cut them into strips, and then you put them in a Ziploc baggie. I think the shelf life is definitely not as long as like a typical fruit roll-up.
Oh, hell
but
no. Because it's natural fruit.
right. But from what I haven't made them, but I have a recipe for them, and from what I've heard, they're crack. Some people do like peppers, like bell pepper, jalapeno pepper.
Bell peppers are good, yeah.
Some people do those. It's just kind of like that in between.
That line, yeah.
And then some people who do animal do avocado because technically it's a fruit.
It's a fruit.
So hypothetically, you could do like an avocado, like a spin on avocado toast. I will say that implementing like egg whites into animal diet would be beneficial because then, like, one, cost effective wise, you can get a carton of egg whites it's eggs, but it's just the whites, and then you can have like
no yolk.
you can make like frittatas and stuff like omelet. That's honestly that's a
gas.
fair shot, like an omelet for breakfast with like ham. If you're getting ham, I would go more like try to find something that's like what's the uncured, something in that sense. But like
uncured,
bacon, bro. You could do like a mozzarella ground beef omelet, bro. That would bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. One of the best things about the diet is everybody kind of does it differently. For me, I'm not gonna not season my food, and seasoning is empty calories. So like, there's not any there's no calories in seasoning.
No, there's not. You just season it. You just eat something good. Ah.
Right, brother. Right. And then
I work in a kitchen, so like I can just make that animal diet like practically every day.
Bro, literally the fact that like the biggest thing is gonna be you can only eat the same thing mentally for a certain time, and then you're gonna have to mix it up. So like for me, it was burger patties. I was making burger patties. Then I was like, dude, I'm getting tired of burgers. So I would transition and do like a bowl and do like ground beef with eggs, like scrambled eggs instead of a fried egg.
Damn.
So like the hardest thing for me on the diet, and it's gonna be the same when we do it, is like I would have to make food for me and then make food for Matea.
Mm-hmm.
And Matea's eating like mac and cheese and mashed potatoes, and I'm like, dude, this is killing me. I'm like, dude, I could put a damage on this
what
right
about?
now.
So you said no chicken?
No, you can do chicken.
I was about to say because I got a chicken wing recipe.
Yeah, no, you can do chicken. But like I said, like think about it to an extent.
It's gotta be pasteurized.
Well, no, not necessarily. You can still do chicken, and you're still doing the diet, but to an like a small facet of like whatever you're eating what they eat. So like if you can't do the animal diet and only eat chicken because you're getting it's not enough fat, like it's not sufficient enough.
True.
I feel like once you get into that area of like you're eating red meat, which is like I wouldn't be opposed to doing a heavier fat. Like I do like I'll get a ribeye or something occasionally and do like a ribeye for dinner instead of beef. But like doing like instead of an 80-20, doing like a 75-25.
Wait, so you're not looking for like the lean beef. You're looking for like the fatty beef, right?
Well, so like, okay, ultimately it comes down to you got to think about what you're eating now and then how changing your diet is going to affect that. So like in the sense of I'm eating an abundance of fat right now, mm-hmm. and I have a lot of energy. Well, if you go completely lean and go chicken breast, which is a very lean cut of meat,
yeah,
you're going to be like, you're not going to feel as content. Like you're gonna be hungry. Like you're not gonna have that extra push of like a fat that your body. So like that's one thing too. Once
Your
you get
body
rid of
uses the fat for energy.
right, you get rid of a lot of carbs, and then your body is focusing on what can I use for energy, and it's gonna focus on that fat. So like instead of it consuming your body's fat, it's gonna consume whatever fat you're eating, which is another way of thinking of like this makes sense to consume only saturated fat if I'm only consuming that opposed to eating carbs. Because like you see it with carbs. How many times you ate an absurd amount of pasta and you're like, dude, I'm miserable, I'm so full, and then within an hour you're like, I could eat again.
Yeah.
Because that's how carbs work. It's not a fix for hunger. It's just like a temporary band-aid until you're hungry again.
Practically, yeah.
But yeah, I do cheese. I do fruit. Pre-workout wise, if you're a pre-workout guy, so I allow myself one thing. Like once I gave up on all that stuff, I allowed myself one thing. Granted, it wasn't the best thing to leave in my diet, but still, the fact that I left it in and I still felt as good as I did says enough about the diet. I still partaked in like an energy drink, just because I was so caught into that ritual of having one. So, if you were to give yourself a thing, in your sense, which granted, I think if your diet in a sense could benefit. Like if you were to do animal and you needed a kick for the gym, like you wanted to get a pump or whatever, you use like, I know it's big in the military community, but they use Himalayan salt, like they chew on Himalayan salt.
Yep.
But like doing like like a big bowl of fruit with like Himalayan salt, that would be equivalent to like a pre-workout. Or you could just leave that in your diet and, say like if all is good except for this one thing, then.
Yeah, there's two things. So when you're working out, like with salt doesn't really help with energy. It gives you a pump.
Right.
Because so like if you're looking for a pump, it'll go through your bloodstream. You'll get fucking massive fucking pump off of it. Same thing with gummy bears.
Because
gummy bears do that too.
What is it? It contracts your blood vessels, right? When you consume salt. Yeah.
It contracts your blood vessels.
So it makes it feel like your veins are gonna explode because they're so tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it's sent in there. Your body's consistently sending more blood vessels because your vessels are contracting. So your body's sending more to help with that because it's not natural.
Right.
But like salt is one of those things where you need salt to hydrate.
Right.
That's why people on like the field of football, they don't drink water, they drink Gatorade because it's
so that's another thing
high
too.
in sodium.
I'd say odds are high right now. You're dehydrated, and granted, it might not show like in the signs it typically does, of like dark pee. But one thing I did, so when your body gets to a certain point of being deprived from water,
yeah,
your receptors of your brain like shut off your like the delivery system of like, hey, we need water, because your body knows like I'm not getting it. Kind of the same premise of like when you're out, like say that you're like dying in like the desert or something, your body will like tell you like you don't need water. It's just like your body's natural response to lack of water. So one thing that I found is the scientist was talking about all these supplements that people take, and he said that 9 times out of 10 you're over supplementing because you don't have the core minerals you need anyways. He said so it's basically like say that you need vitamin B and you need vitamin K2. But you just keep taking fish oil pills. Like your body can only
fish
take.
oil is huge.
But you can only take in so much fish oil when you lack other nutrients.
Yep.
So the core of that
I
comes
got
from.
I got a whole pill like thing. I got vitamin C. I got vitamin D.
Right.
Magnesium.
So
fish oil.
So this doctor said that a lot of people are over supplementing, and they don't even have the core nutrients they need. So what he advocates to revamp your body in hydration is for 3 days is all it takes. And I did it, bro, and it works. For 3 days, in the morning, before you start your day, you get 12 ounces of water, and you take a teaspoon of like a natural mineral salt. Okay?
You drink the salt water?
Yes. So I did it I added lime to it.
So it didn't taste like shit.
Yeah, so it didn't taste as bad. And granted, it's gonna suck regardless. It's salt water, but with the electrolytes from the salt, your body, the system it turns back on. It's like, okay, we need to get water in here, and then within, I'd say by day 2, that day you'll feel like a difference. Like your mouth is dry, like it's telling you like, hey, it's time to drink some water.
So for 3 days you drank salt water.
Literally 3 days, just in the morning. Like you start the day, you kill a 12-ounce cup of salt water, and then.
You not drink anything else for the rest of the day, or you can't drink?
Drink water. Like drink water. Like you're gonna after the first, I'd say by like hour 12 of the first day, you're gonna be craving water because your body's like, I need it. Give me water.
Damn.
And then so again, with all the moving and stuff, I felt my body reset. So like now I'm not drinking water as actively as I was. So I probably need to do it again. I use the Celtic salt. I don't know if you've seen that, like the blue bag.
Yeah.
I use the Celtic salt.
What about kosher salt? The shit that's blessed by
Quakers.
rabbis. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you probably could use it. It's the same purpose. I just want to use table salt.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a teaspoon, half a teaspoon. Enough for it to be salty, and you'd be like, this sucks. But literally 3 days is all it takes. You add some lemon to it, or just get a chaser and just kill the salt water and take a drink of whatever else. Juice or milk, or I wouldn't do milk. That sounds kind of gross. It's like sucking a teat underwater.
Yeah, you just got a cow on the surface and you're right underneath it, just.
But yeah, no, we'll definitely. I'll get with you and we can plan it out.
Yeah, of course. I'd be down for it.
No, I'm excited. I've been wanting to get back on it, but I said, I
I'm
don't.
gonna kick this and get Zins in my system.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. One thing too that might help too is jumping straight to 6s, and the good thing is 6s.
Jumping straight to 6s?
Yeah, because like you're not gonna get a buzz from a 3 if you've been vaping.
That is true.
But I was on 3s because the 6s were too harsh. But I'm on 6 now, and then the good positive is. Well, if you're a normal person, so like if I ever get to a point where I don't feel like I'm getting anything from Zins, like I just feel flat, then I'm going to take some time off from them. I'm not going to continue to just pile them in my mouth. Yeah. But like if there is a point where you don't want to stop and you feel like you're not getting an edge from a 6, there's other companies that make other different products. And they're like 9, 12.
Sorry, I'm just fixing something on my computer.
No, you're good. But yeah, 6 is fine with me, but I know guys that use 9s. I knew a guy that uses 12s. There's a company called FRE. It's a military-based company. It's owned and operated by veterans, and they have a 24 milligram pouch. That's insane. I couldn't imagine. I put a 12. I found they're called like Ultras or something. I can't remember the actual brand, but they were like 12s. And I put one in, and I was driving back to Pikeville, and I was like sweating. It was so excessive.
Damn.
Yeah, but no, I say go to like a 6, and then honestly, even benefiting, like go out, look and see what they have, and then just get a couple different options that are just nicotine. Because I know everybody's kind of different. For me, I'm a Zen guy, but like Eric uses Velos. They have different flavors. I got a buddy that uses ones. I think ones are the cheapest option. And I think they have them in 3, 6, and 9. But Eric uses Velos, and they have like different flavors in that. But to me, I'm a dry pouch guy. There's some pouches that are wet. I'm not a damp pouch. I hate it. It gives me like cold chills when I put them in. But personally, I'm a Zen guy. Just waiting on a sponsorship.
Sponsor me.
But I don't fit their demographic, which is weird because I use their product so heavily. But they.
Why do you not fit their demographic?
Apparently, a large quantity of employees at Zen were dumping money into the Kamala campaign. Yeah, but hence why Tucker Carlson is coming out with his own pouches.
You know what you gotta do? You gotta put on a MAGA hat and just put.
But yeah, Tucker Carlson. You know Tucker Carlson?
Yeah, I know Tucker. Yeah, he's a news reporter for Fox News, and then he got fired.
he is coming out with something called Alp pouches, and they're nicotine pouches. Because he was a big Zen guy, and he was like, "Well, I'm not spending so much money on this company that hates me, so let me switch." And he made his own. So, but yeah, no, definitely recommend. And then we'll get together about the diet. We'll figure out a start date and kind of plan that too.
Of course, yeah.
What I typically do at the end of podcasts is I give you a platform to say something to chat, say something to community, speak your mind. So yeah, the floor is yours, brother.
So, does it have to be like, what does it have to be? Just like motivational or like whatever?
Whatever you want it to be, bro.
All right. So, here's my platform. Don't let people in your life try to bring you down for the things that you want to do in your life. Pursue whatever job you want to pursue. Pursue whatever career you want to pursue. Pursue anything. It doesn't matter. Whatever your heart dreams of, that's what you got to go for. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't do it, because this is wherever you're at. I mean, mostly people from America are here. You're in America.
I actually have a really big following of people from South Africa. I don't know why, but I'm not mad at it.
Well, hey, if it's from South Africa too, well, guess what? People from the United States of America and people from South Africa. Pursue your dreams. Be better. Make yourself into a better person today, tomorrow, the next day, next week, any other day that you can. Always be the better version of yourself. Don't fall short of greatness. And give glory to God. Jesus Christ, he's our Savior. The glory to the King. Died on the cross for your sins. He wouldn't want to see you at your lowest potential.
Absolutely not. I love that, brother.
Just strive to be better.
Absolutely.
There's no reason to settle for less.
It's like Nick knows the motto over here. All right, Nick. It's been a pleasure. Typically, when I have people on that are followers of Christ, we typically pray. So if you want, we'll do a quick prayer.
Let's do it. I'm all on for it. Holy Spirit.
Dear Lord, I want to thank you for Nick. I want to thank you for all the blessings, the trials and tribulations you put him through to get him to where he is today. I pray that you continue to guide him on his journey in life. I pray that you continue to have him impact those around him, not only to make him better for you, but to make him better for them as well. Lord, anybody that's watching that is on edge about giving all glory to you and your name, Lord, I pray that you just wrap them in a loving embrace and show them that you are the way. Lord, so thankful for the opportunities you give me to use this platform to not only bring awareness to certain issues, but also to relish in your name, Lord. And I pray that you continue to just bless everybody around me, continue to bless Nick, and bless anybody watching. Lord, thank you. We love you, and in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, brother. It's been a pleasure.
We'll have to talking to you, man.
But we'll have to get you back on because there's a bunch of stuff we didn't talk about because we got stuck in these rabbit holes of good conversation.
Yeah, and like 100 men versus one gorilla.
yeah. But
I'm down for that, dude.
Yeah,
I'm down for that.
We'll get you back on at some point. I know that your schedule's everywhere. But congratulations on graduating, brother. I wish time was different and I could be there because I was planning on it, but with it being UPIKE's graduation.
Yeah, I didn't have enough tickets.
Yeah, no, you're good. No stress, brother. Definitely send me the deets of that, but I appreciate you being on. And I'll tap in with you tomorrow, brother.
Yes, sir. I love you always, man.
All right, love you, brother.
Love you. See ya.
All right, chat. I appreciate y'all being here. It's another one. It's another banger. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, I mean, Nick wrapped it up so he'd be better than yesterday. All right. Show somebody some grace. You never know how bad a situation is until you're in it. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Be better, be easier. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow.